Hello, everybody. We are live after a live premiere, so hopefully some of y'all joined us there for the Set 4 Alpha Clash spoiler season wrap-up, really a Set 4 review. Zach and I got a chance to play a number of games of that format and that set, and it was lovely. So could not recommend that enough. On that note, before we get to Essen and Sorcery, we do have the original trilogy bundle. This is a very cool thing we've launched with Rising Empire. They and us have put together the first 3 sets, 1 booster box from each, for $70. So this is a way to get a bunch of people to try the game that maybe were on the fence or weren't convinced to give it a shot. And it's available I think, was it 2 boxes per household, 2 bundles per household every 30 days.
That's right.
If we run it for longer than 30 days, we just kind of put that in there as a boilerplate. But the idea is, you don't just get to buy a bunch of these, right? That's not the intent. So if you're genuinely interested in the game, this is a really good way to jump in, and you can grab a Clash bundle or a Clash kit in addition to get the full onboarding experience. And then if you have a box or two and you're like, man, I just want to build some more decks, also a good way to supplement the collection. And then you can go to ClashCon and square off against Zach and hopefully
probably beat me.
Beat him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you've been talking to Michael Hamilton again, which
I always talk to Michael Hamilton.
Sometimes you are. Oh, and before we get there, check this out. I wanted to give a huge shout out. Tim Aiken, if you're out there, I don't know if you're watching, I don't have my chat up, but for those of you that have been on our Discord, you might know that Tim is just randomly. We didn't ask him, we didn't have a conversation. He just started posting in our Ask Covenant channel when people had questions, would just answer.
Not even Ask Covenant. It's just on the Discord.
Just helpful.
Yeah, and he probably knows more about what's going on at Covenant than anyone at Covenant.
Certainly more than you.
Yeah, man. He'll get in there. Like, it's one thing. It totally makes sense if you're a big, Alpha Clash player or Sorcery player. People will be asking questions about that specifically. Mm-hmm. And to have someone who's like an expert at that game hopping in to answer rules questions or how things work at Covenant or whatever. He's in the chat now. I'm glad you're here, Tim. But just as soon as basically once the Discord launched, it's funny to think about us not having a Discord pre-pandemic. Like that came out during the pandemic, but is genuinely one of the just most helpful, thoughtful, and kind and contributing people in our community. And I bet if you've asked a question and Ask Covenant, you probably had a response from Tim Aiken more than anyone else.
Yeah, so it was so profound that Tim had to add not a TC employee to his Discord handle, which we just been seeing it for so long. We know that Tim missed we did a run 1,000 years ago.
2015.
Primarily for our locals. We did a run of playmats and shirts that was the Tulsa skyline made into kind of the Covenant logo.
Do you have like an example I could see of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what this design would look like?
Here's what we did. And Tim, if you're out there, this is great. These are coming your way.
We made them in 2015 when we opened 2.0.
This is the first one. You can see the hashtag not a TC employee
and
down there.
I noticed this. This is the new logo too.
Uh-huh.
The old ones had the old logo.
We refreshed it. We also got didn't know which version he liked more, so we got
I saw him posting about this one.
The white-red version as well.
I'm jealous of this one.
They got the stitched edges, went a little extra for our boy Tim on that one. And then, I'm going to be honest, I needed to spend like $5 to get free shipping. So, also look at this streetwear style, not a TC employee
really cool.
carrying bag, right? I did that without any input from Jonathan. That was straight from me.
Yeah. Who knew you were a streetwear guy?
Well, yeah, I'm working on my designer clothing line as well, if you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, so seriously, most genuinely, Tim, huge thank you. You're a champion in the Discord channel. You and people like you make the Discord fantastic. I say all the time to people are leery about social media and Discord, especially Discord. I've had this conversation a lot, but the people in our Discord channel are genuinely fantastic, and Tim, you're a huge part of making that true. So thank you for contributing. And
disclaimer, if you start answering questions in Ask Covenant, you may not get anything. So don't feel this is a one-time kind of, we don't know. This is not like a program that we're launching. I should do these the other way. But yeah, Tim's been great, and so we just wanted to do something and I guess announce it now. Because they just came in. We've been in Germany, and I saw that these were on the desk, and so it was like, well, now's a good time to launch this. Tell Tim what we're doing. Okay, Zach, what else we got going on today?
As far as I know, Essen, Arthurian Legends.
Okay. Shall we talk about Essen?
we went to Essen for the first time. Essen is the largest tabletop gaming convention in the world. And as far as I know, it's approximately 2.5, 3 times the size of Gen Con, which was sort of the holy grail, as you would, of tabletop gaming events for us growing up. Gen Con, Indianapolis. Except for it's in Germany at Essen. Because I think it's Spiel Essen. Spiel Essen is the proper name of this thing.
Which means game, right?
Game Essen.
Yeah,
and Essen means food.
Out is that Spiel means
That's nice. 2 flavors.
game.
Yep.
And the other one means
Essen
food.
means
So
food.
Essen also means food.
for
Yeah.
bad speakers, my mic's not working.
Game food. Food game.
Well, Essen means food, and it also is a place in Germany.
That's right.
So-
It's a city.
It'd be like going to like hot dog, or I guess there's actually examples of this. Hamburg.
Yeah.
Or if
There's some jokes in the TC lexicon
Or
for that.
you went to the city of Hamburger, and it was for like a games fair, and
Spiel
so it'd be
Hamburger.
called Spiel Hamburger.
Yeah.
And so that would be confusing.
That
but
would
it's just because they named a city after food.
Or the word for food.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, anyways, let's not dive into all that. All that to say, we went to Essen. I'm curious to hear about your highlights. You posted some photos earlier. That was fun.
I did, yeah.
And our primary reason for going to Essen was that our friends over at Ars Curiosa were releasing the second set of Sorcery TCG, which is called Arthurian Legends. World premiere. Look at this thing.
Look at this also.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it this well.
Give me some of that light.
Actually,
Lean it
Erica
back a
does
little
have to do it this well, I feel like.
I mean, when it's once a year, you got to make some noise.
you got to
know what
make
I
some
mean?
noise, yeah.
Anyways, it was really cool. We were on site for that world premiere. We were at their booth just before it opened, and then immediately this booth was full. There were artists there. There was original art. Severin's husband. Did you catch his name?
It starts with a P.
Philip.
Philip or Philippe is probably right.
Is a jeweler,
It's Philippe, 'cause it's
and he
your-
did jewelry of like Morgan's ring, which you opened.
Yes.
He also did a Philosopher's Stone, and there was a horn there as well. It was really cool to see it all coming together and just being present for an event. And we had the privilege of getting to actually open a box with our friend Jesse, who works
The
for
Winning
Ars
Agenda.
Curiosa, but also longtime content creator over Winning Agenda. And I don't know, man, it's just special. This game is something different.
You know what this is? Arthurian Legends? It's King Arthur and stuff. Abergast, I saw you on Thursday there. Hopefully you have somewhere to put your little tokens now. Yes! Arbogast. Hold on a second.
It's so good he had to do a spin.
I think that's
Woo!
still at home. I tried to bring it, and I think I was in an absolute panic this morning.
I had an extra day ahead of you, and this morning I got here and was talking to Jonathan. I was like, oh yeah, I have your bag that I brought with me and your hard drive. Definitely not here though.
Mm-hmm.
None of the stuff here.
So Abergast did this awesome thing. It was essentially worked at a commercial 3D printing facility with like 3D printers that are like $3 million, $250,000. Actually, $250,000 to buy this 3D printer.
Those are basically the same number.
Yeah. At a certain
Actually.
point. And then we basically printed little token holders for little token cards. It has 3 slots for little cards, and then there's a big slot in the back to hold like rubble and stuff. So nice. Like we already used them throughout the weekend after
At our
we got those.
Airbnb.
Weren't those nice?
Yeah, well, it was nice. Yeah.
It was really good. So we'll bring those on stream next week.
Yeah, I saw that comment from Jurgen. That's how you pronounce that, Jurgen? Jurgen?
Jurgen?
Jurgen.
Probably
Jurgen's right.
Jurgen,
Jurgen
yeah.
is right. Yeah, that was definitely a highlight for me.
We had a lot of schnapps.
I
in
wasn't at the
Germany.
schnapps end of the table,
Mm-hmm.
but that night we had dinner, and that was a highlight.
That was a great dinner.
Tell me this, Steven.
Let's run through the schedule
Essen.
for everybody.
Okay, so we leave.
Yeah, and Sophie was there. Cardboard Guide is here. Yeah.
Now I did get to hang out and talk with Sophie for a while, and as the conversation went on, I found myself more and more fascinated. Talking about like archaeological discoveries of old temples. I think the goddess is there a goddess Juno?
Yeah.
That was the one. She was a part of the team that like discovered, like they were digging and they found like some sound hit, and it ended up being a tile, and then another sound hit, and it was like, this is marble, and so it was like a marble statue. I think she was only a research assistant though, so her name's not on anything, unfortunately.
So Sophie was a research assistant during the discovery of a magnificent temple.
And she was the one that like she hit the thing that made the sound.
Can you imagine what that would be like?
Anyway, we kept going.
It's like opening packs of Arthurian Legends.
I learned what a Goblin King was from her.
Is that really hard to surmise?
Not really, but I didn't. So I was talking with her, Heiner, and Eric.
What could that possibly be?
And we were talking about kind of notable moments in our tabletop journey. Mm-hmm. So I was telling the story of my getting Charizard, which was like the big thing for me, first Pokemon set, etc. And she was telling the story of the Goblin King. And every time this kind of thing came up, I was like, oh, what's a Goblin King?
Oh, the magic card.
Yeah,
Goblin
and then
King,
they're all just like, hee, politely laughing at me for not knowing. But it's an alpha card. And that, my Charizard was her Goblin King.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Anyways, that was a highlight for me, that whole conversation. We had some really great times at that thing. But you want to go through the schedule, or you just want to hit highlights?
Well, let me just do a quick
Essen?
rundown of kind of how this all happened. Is we ended up staying in an Airbnb in Wuppertal, which was about 45 minutes to an hour away by train. And so we were actually pretty far removed from the Essen experience after we left town. So we always had to come in and out of Essen rather than kind of being in the city itself. So as far as experiencing Essen as a city, we did not do much of that at all. We spent most of our after hours time in Wuppertal, which was just delightful. Absolutely great. It was nice to be in a city that was more, it certainly felt more truly like German,
less touristy,
than being invaded by a bunch of people coming to Spiel Essen.
As one of our Uber drivers put it, Wuppertal, not the prettiest city, but very real. Mm-hmm. And the food
was great.
Delivered.
We made some good friends with some local purveyors. Claudio down there at the pizza shop and the espresso shop, and Kasai at Atelier, the restaurant. It's a fantastic restaurant.
I don't know why that word is the name of that restaurant. I cannot pronounce. Yeah, like my brain just trips.
It was the best pizza I've ever had.
Claudio was credit. He was an Italian guy in Wuppertal and was making the best pizzas that we've ever had. Yeah, no doubt.
Also notably, at least if you're there at Claudio's, a macchiato is neither what you would expect from America or Italy.
It's a glass of milk.
Heavy on the milk.
Espresso
heavy on the milk.
So long story short, we stayed in Wuppertal. So our experience most days was train into Essen in the morning, go to Spiel for a while. Usually at the end of the day, we would go to a White Rabbit game store, which is a well-known community game store there in Essen and kind of in that regional area. It seems like a lot of people come into that store for big events. And then we would hang out, and there were some Arthurian Legends opening parties and tournaments going on there. So we would stop by there. We'd get footage, which Jonathan, of course, was in charge of. Zach and I would, talk to folks and watch and just see Arthurian Legends being opened and see games being played and strategies being implemented. Then we would leave White Rabbit at some point. We'd go home to Wuppertal. We'd get some dinner. Then we'd hang out at our Airbnb, which was absurd. It was very, very cool. I feel like we got a lot more in Wuppertal for our Airbnb cash than we would have in Essen with so many people coming in.
There's a reason we were there.
Yeah.
We also booked it kind of late.
Yeah.
So we were a little behind the power curve on Essen accommodations.
Mm-hmm. And then we would, on Sunday, we skipped Spiel entirely, and we actually walked to a beer garden about an hour and a half away through a national forest. Oh my gosh, it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced. We walked through all these German woods, and
it's like it has trees from all over the world.
Yeah, they were planting all sorts of different species, cultivating this thing. So we walked through that, and then at the end of it, or kind of amidst it, there was a beer garden there. And it was purely local, which if you're in that kind of a setting, it's really important to me to not be like, hey, we speak English, help. But to try to speak as much German as you can, which we certainly did. Google Translate app helps a lot. So a lot of like Danke, bitte, Essen,
bitte.
Kart, für Pils, bitte.
Beer.
Kart, maybe. Yeah. So, and that felt like it became very endearing to the locals, and that's really what you strive for when you travel.
We turned the corner and saw the place. I have a video clip of it.
This fireplace was going.
And there's just like fire smoke coming up from it.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's the trees. It's like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah, it's perfect. Had some beers, had various forms of schnitzel all around. Zach had a bratwurst there, and then
it was good.
They asked the lead guy asked if we cycled there or rode there in a car. And we're like, oh, we walked here. And he was like, oh. And
No
then
one does that.
Gave us a free round of schnapps.
And it gave her stops.
We were getting free rounds of schnapps everywhere we went. Maybe that's common. And then we walked back, and that was kind of our Essen experience. So,
the side note, the schnapps everywhere. Maybe it is customary, but that is compared to my French experience. Behavior was the same. You know what I mean? Attempting to speak French, trying to be polite, etc. But just felt very welcomed and warm by all the different places.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What type of
traveling.
place was that first? We got appetizers at that one place when we first got to Lubeck.
Yeah, Troja. I think that was that a Turkish?
A baklava.
Yeah, or it was some kind of it was in that
Anyways, they were super
Mediterranean.
friendly. There was an Italian spot that was really friendly. Everywhere we were at was just like very friendly, even though at least my German very poor.
I think, and this is the beauty of travel, is it not? You see how other people are doing it, and it's similar but different. And it's kind of a universal connectivity of humans. And honestly, it's so much easier now to not have to put yourself out there and do things that are a little bit stressful or difficult, because it is uncomfortable at first to not know the language and, and to feel like you're an inconvenience and to not be able to communicate. But, as you kind of put that leap of faith out there to, other people, regardless of what language they speak, where they come from, 100% of the time in my life, that has been fully not only rewarded, but just above and beyond what I expect. And that builds these threads, between all of us that we can do this. Like, we can take care of each other and get through these problems that we have that are more global. And it's really encouraging to feel that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I felt that when I was couch surfing. Every time I put myself out there, I feel like it's rewarded with increased faith in your fellow human being.
Yeah, it was great.
That's what travel is all about.
You can get a long way with hello, goodbye, thank you, excuse me,
and sorry.
Entschuldigen.
Entschuldigen.
I particularly love the German hello.
Hello.
It's
Hello.
way friendlier.
Yeah.
It's just got we passed people who are walking on that trail and just like feels very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I was reminiscing to my Belgian friend Jasper. It's like, why is it so hard to apologize in German? It's like, sorry, pardon. That's French, right? And then it's like, Entschuldigung. That's a mouthful.
Maybe the cultural norm is don't do things for which you should have to apologize. Otherwise, you have to pay the price of saying these words.
Entschuldigung. Entschuldigung.
Yeah, don't make it easy to say sorry.
So here was the thing with Spiel.
Deep thoughts with Steven. It's time.
We've been thinking about it.
Also, let's just be real clear. You and Jonathan, did you arrive today in Oklahoma?
We arrived at 1 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Like at Tulsa, or that's it when you got home?
When we got home, I was in bed at about 1 something a.m. this morning.
All right, and here we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get up pretty early?
Like 7.
Like my body woke up like naturally at like 8.
Yeah, because it was like noon.
7. It was 6 or 7.
It's like noon.
8 a.m. here is like...
It was 6:40. Yeah, 6:40
where
is when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just slept all day yesterday.
Not enough sleep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And I feel... You can hear my voice a little bit?
I usually...
Does my voice sound normal?
More than usual.
Sounds normal, yeah.
Great.
How was your daughter? How was that?
It was weird being gone for a week.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like she grew a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She filled in.
Did you get some wrinkles?
No.
She been getting like the little Michelin man?
She's already been getting this. she went through a growth spurt like 3 weeks ago. 3.5 weeks ago, where her legs went from like she had really dainty legs and feet.
Uh-huh.
And then
dainty,
they kind of just, well, a lot of times babies' feet, it's like the foot is fat enough that the toes are unusably above the base of the,
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like that. It was just like a nice little
Dainty
miniature
foot.
human foot, But then about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, it was like her legs just whoop, and then she had the wrinkles. She's had wrist wrinkles forever, but they're just like real, and she's getting strong.
Yeah,
she's like doing tummy time, and her neck's getting strong and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of playing it cautious yesterday because I thought I might be sick, so I tested for everything and I kind of isolated a little bit and wasn't. But then by just sleeping and getting water, it's like
it was the water.
Man, yeah. Let me tell you, as many know in Europe, you just don't get water in Europe.
They don't serve it.
It's just no water.
Especially flat water.
There's definitely no ice. You never get ice, but it definitely not. But not water. Not even water. You can ask for like flat water and all these kinds of things, but it's like €7,000 and nobody wants that. And you can get free water. It's just kind of like, they just don't, it's just not easy.
Even as we were going to the airport in
Amsterdam,
they had a buy a free refillable or get a free refillable water bottle thing in one of the stores, but no way to fill it up.
Yeah.
Like, in the USA, you have those water fountains that you can push them in.
I do.
And they, not anywhere.
Yeah. We got to the airport. We flew out of Dusseldorf. And I was like, oh, there's nowhere to get water here. So I paid the most I've ever paid for a bottle of water. And then we get to Amsterdam, and it's like also nowhere to fill it up.
Yeah.
Wait a second. And then we got to Atlanta.
You filled in the bathroom.
And the first bathroom was like, oh, thank goodness, water.
Yeah.
And then you go and I do the thing and nothing. I'm like, oh, and you have to wait through customs. It wasn't until the other side of customs that I even got the water.
Wow.
But I didn't realize, a Sunday afternoon we went on that hike and we ate at that, I guess you call it a pub or a beer garden?
Yeah, beer garden. Yeah.
And then we hiked back. And then we had some beer we had to obviously consume at the Airbnb
From the
that used to
kiosk,
go. But it wasn't until I was struggling to not have water in those airports that I was like, wait a second. The second half of yesterday, I'm not sure I drank an ounce of water.
Not a thing.
I hiked, sweat, more beer when we got there, more beer when we got back. It's like, I think I'm very dehydrated. And then you fly, and it's like, this is just worst. Bad decisions.
Yeah,
anyway,
I was looking in the mirror and like my lips were starting to get chapped. I look like those guys that like coming out of the desert.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
We really struggled for 4 or 5 days there.
Let's talk about Spiel in general. Speaking of, all right, here's the thing, y'all. You
want me to say it?
Well, no, I've been working this around in my head. I don't want to come off as negative because it's not a negative experience. It was a great experience we had, but I think the most notable thing about all of this is that I was expecting, having the reports that I'd gotten about Spiel, I was expecting it to be a uniquely presented tabletop gaming convention experience. And what I found was that it was identical, if not worse, than Gen Con in terms of atmosphere in the hall itself. Harder to walk. Less space, louder, but the food and the drinks were way better, which is a big part of the experience. So the upside of Spiel Essen for me was Pilsner and currywurst. Incredible. And outside spaces that are easy to access.
Like while we're actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Outside spaces on the inside of the hall spaces.
Yeah, that was nice.
Unlike at Gen Con, you have to go outside to get outside.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's maybe some food trucks or there may be a walk to get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lines for food everywhere.
Yeah.
Etc.
And then, I mean, reasonably to say, the aesthetics I think were nice. I think it didn't have any kind of a too bad of a smell to it, and the standard kind of nerdery stuff, the trappings that we find ourselves stuck in to this day. But man, was it busy with a lot of slow walking, a lot of it was just very difficult for me to get around. So much so that it became overwhelmed, like it became a sensory overload pretty quick. I think the Arthurian Legends Sorcery booth was phenomenal. Absolutely, probably one of the greatest things I've seen. One of my absolute highlights from Spiel in general was watching Eric spend like an hour making the flower presentation of the Arthurian Legends box, which I think is one of the most obvious signals as to the kind of person that Eric is and what the mind behind the game is.
Sure.
Which is wanting to truly do justice to this Arthurian Legends presentation and create a vibe. Had candles, had the box presented, has flowers everywhere, and wanted to have angelic music playing, but wasn't able to get that all worked out. So it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, who does
exactly.
that? I saw you post a picture of that setup he was working on.
Yeah, we got some good footage, I think, for the doc that's on the way. But it's not like flashing lights like, come buy this set now. It's a much deeper kind of value being presented, which I thought was just perfect. So that's my take on Spiel. By the second day, I was like, I don't want any more. And I feel the same way about Gen Con. I want one day at max.
Yeah, I mean, I was, with Essen itself, honestly, I was a bit underwhelmed. I don't know what I was expecting. But it really just felt like the hall at Gen Con, but much bigger, confusing in terms of, because there's different halls and like it's not numbered in like there's like 7 or 8 halls and they're kind of numbered and like positioned in a weird way. And I don't know what I expect. I've been told forever that it was more Like more booth space was committed to people playing. And what that really meant is that it's a booth with area to play. Unlike Gen Con, which is like there's a booth to sell things, and then there's an area where people play
Giant
things.
play area, yeah.
But then even at Gen Con, and again, this may be ignorance. I saw Jurgen. Sorry, Jurgen. I will do my best. Posting about, the water. They have the ability to refill water in the bathrooms in those places we were talking about in the airports. I don't know if it's like I'm looking at outside the bathroom.
Yeah, it's just the tap.
Anyways, but it kind of like condenses those two areas of Gen Con into one and removes everything else. So like at Gen Con, I always walk by the big room, people playing role-playing games.
Yeah.
And then every hotel, there's tons of hotels nearby that have events and presentations and play spaces, and there's cosplay going on, and there's the section that I always see that's like people building giant things out of cards.
There's balloon game constantly going on. There's battle bots.
There's all sorts of it felt like a bigger version of Gen Con with less of the stuff that makes Gen Con interesting. And even then, it's like there's just so many board games are sort of out of our element to a degree. There's just so many at this point.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's the space is noisy, but also the content feels noisy. If that makes sense.
Yeah, there's just so many. That was my takeaway. So much.
Yeah, and it's a sign of getting older. I know what I'm about to say is going to make me sound old, but I had a really good time. Partially because like we were together, the three of us and Robert, and we spent a lot of our time not in the space. So if I was going to commit like a week or a weekend of going, particularly, I don't know. Maybe I'd rather just have something more intimate and more focused. Like the ClashCon happening in December is going to be a smaller gathering, a hotel of only Alpha Class players, and similar with like Sorcery Con happening in November. Now they're in the 300-400 range, but 300 or 400 is tiny compared to 200,000.
Yeah.
So yes, everyone there is into gaming of some kind, but it's just different.
Well, it's primarily board games, and if you're interested in finding as many new board games as you possibly can, then it's a place for that. But that said, you would never have time to demo more than 5 to 10. I mean, max in a given day. So you have no chance of actually being able to try out all of the things on display. So it's really about like walk through crowded, loud hallways for a day probably, and then come back through maybe the next day or two and get the demos that you want of the various games and walk away with. I mean, it is unrivaled in terms of the number of games there. It definitely supersedes Gen Con by far. I think what we felt was lacking was just an expectation that we had, and the thing we like so much about Gen Con and these bigger conventions that we've been to here in the States. And honestly, what I think we were expecting more of from Spiel was that it would be more in the direction of what we like about Gen Con, which is you get a group of 4 people playing, airplane game from 1978.
That airplane game that's always someone's playing one version of it in the hall. Yeah.
And there was just not this giant space where people could actually just come together and play whatever they wanted, unrelated to what was being sold and done in Essen Spiel or Spiel proper. And so it felt much more of a giant board game shopping mall than it did a giant board game tabletop store.
Yeah.
That you would come play at and have events at.
We ran into someone who was kind of giving us spilling some tea on Essen.
Yes.
And that we got footage of that, so that may end up in some of the content we're doing. But we're planning on doing a travel log vibe.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're
video
gonna
of Essen.
Kind
of following Steven around in his experience, but was effectively describing the fact that Essen was run by a family for 25, 30 years, and then has more recently come under corporate ownership, and the prices have gone up. So I think part of the feeling too was the kind of people that could afford to be there. It's not as indie or like hidden weird stuff as I expected. And it was more like, well, these are all the publishers that you've come to know and love.
AEGs, the Asmodees.
Yeah, and
when you say more expensive, notably you mean the price to have a booth there.
Yeah,
they said it was $40,000.
Yeah, $40,000, and they actually closed 1 or 2 of the halls that used to be full of these like Etsy shops, small time. This is what he was telling us. Small publishers who would could afford the smaller price, but that's gone.
So it's gotten, it's just a tale as old as time. And who knows if they're making any money,
This is a good comment from a friend.
Jürgen,
Say it again.
Jurgen?
For people that may not know how to pronounce it. People make lists before, choose a path, and then try the selection they made. It is indeed crazy and almost too busy nowadays. It used to be more relaxed 10 years ago and before.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
And that makes sense. But it was just like, it was all the people I expected to see that I would have found out from, like a Twitter feed or people, an email newsletter that I'm already on. And so it just felt, I don't know, noisy. Is the
sense
word.
of discovery was low.
Yeah.
But the sense of noise was high.
And there's a ton of games and a ton of people trying to put stuff out there, and they're putting stuff out early and long lines. And the thing got me the most, it kept surprising me, is people would be walking fast and stop on a dime.
Oh yeah.
And then suddenly be like conversation with someone.
Which is certainly not different from Gen Con in that way.
I felt like it was worse,
It felt like it was
actually.
narrower. Did it not feel narrower to you?
It did.
It was weird.
I do wonder how much of it is, because it's a very international show. In Europe, you have tons of different people from countries coming all over. But it was not clear whether you should be walking on the left or the right side. And in America, that is at least more clear. And when you're in Indianapolis, it's like, I would be curious the percentage of international people at Gen Con, particularly that aren't vendors.
Isn't it only UK that does the weird driving?
UK and Japan.
UK and Japan. So they know there's no, unless there's just a bunch of UK.
So everyone else in Europe is on the right.
Yeah, no free get out of jail on that one.
I don't know, man.
The thing that struck me about Essen, I think it's a really pretty good analogy, or it's really analogous with South by Southwest, where South by Southwest started as kind of a smallish thing. If you knew about it and got in, like, it was a way to elevate yourself above the noise, and then slowly became bigger and bigger and bigger, and the percentage of elevation that you had by being there became smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So, originally I imagine any of these conventions, Essen especially, if you were there, you could be discovered. And now it's so flooded, and there's so
Gen
much.
Con's not different, right? If you're at the original Gen Con, I imagine it was like 80 people in Geneva.
It's just so noisy.
Jesse from Winning Gin say, don't forget Australia and New Zealand also on the left.
Oh, right. Let's not forget.
That explains everything that explains everything, actually.
But I don't know how much of the story of Spiel is, it goes from family run to corporate run during the pandemic. And then now we have the profit motive in place. And who knows, maybe they were losing money every year previous. And now suddenly they need to increase prices and all that. And this is the thing. They also were the first time they ever sold out.
That's what I wanted to mention. This is the first year it was sold out.
So it's not strictly wrong or bad, but it did feel less unique and interesting, and more of just a giant billboard for publishers that, we already knew any of the new games that they were going to be releasing. There was no real surprises there.
Well, it also... the same cycle happened at Gen Con to a degree, where once you recognize, if it is very powerful for generating excitement and coverage and sales, the more people doing it, it's like the Kickstarter runs we've seen.
Like social media, man.
It's like the harder you have to go at it.
Yeah.
The algorithm of people in that case, and how do you get attention and stuff. But the more people are doing that, it just gets noisier and noisier and noisier. Because there was a time, even when we first started going to Gen Con, there might be a couple hundred board games a year that come out. And when it's 5,000, how many of those 5,000 are now going to be at Gen Con and Essen?
Yeah.
And that's the time they're doing their big thing, and the reveals and the previews and the content going up and all the stuff. So, we were mostly there for Sorcery. So we walked around. We did get a demo of Onward from our friends over at Skytear. Finally met Giacomo in person. That game was great. Had a good time. We played 2v2, me and Steven versus Jonathan Robert. There were big smiles across the table. I have pictures, and like Jonathan and Robert are both like smiling.
It's great. Taylor's going to love it.
That was fun. Ran into a couple other friends. Steve Kimball is now over at, what's the name of the studio? So Loot Studios is doing like 3D printed miniatures.
Loot Studios and Malediction.
And they are going to be putting out, I think they have a Coming Now campaign on GameFound right now. But it's a miniatures game. It's interesting. I like the concept, which is there's no miniatures in the box. When you buy a thing, you actually get basically rights to the print file. But you also get like a standee, so you can play it immediately, which I think is clever, because as a miniatures player myself over time, I buy a lot of miniatures and then putting them together and painting, but it's a long time before I'm like ready for them to hit the table. So it would be nice if you could play it and immediately play it.
Yes.
Something to play with. And then aspirationally, you'll put these models together and do this thing. But it's definitely one of the cooler innovations I've seen coming out of the miniatures game space, particularly for a long time.
Yeah, this is Steve Kimball, designer of X-Wing, right? So See, he is the designer. You didn't need to do the original rule set. Or was that?
I think he wrote the rules.
That's right.
But I don't think he was wasn't it? Gosh, what is his name? Let me pull it up real quick.
He was on the box, right? Even on the early core sets.
He's definitely credited in the rules.
I stepped up to blow my nose. Why is Taylor and Paul saying woo and yes? Did you guys say something?
That was for Skytear Onward being it's absolutely nailing the Dota thing. They're doing a great job with it.
You tell them it has items now?
It's got items. It's got the whole thing, the waves, the jungling, the Roshan. It's got the whole thing.
Smooth as butter too.
And as soon as what I liked the most is you take a turn, you kill some minions. Those minions immediately advance, the game state changes, and then your opponent goes.
Yeah.
It's not this kind of we set the chessboard, and then at the very last second, you try to flip the number so that you win. It's very good.
So Jay Little was the one.
This is Jay Little, that's right.
Jay Little is the one who designed X-Wing. But I know, like, Steve Kimball was, in the first rulebook, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a lot of, like, rulebook writing. So I think he was responsible for the actual rulebook itself, and he was involved in that whole process. And we know him from way back in the X-Wing days.
Yeah, so imagine this. We've been saying this for a long time. I was particularly interested in this, is like, when do miniatures games just not have miniatures? And because 3D printing gets so common. Same with card games. When do local card shops just have card printers so that you can print everything locally? That's probably a little ways away. Weirdly enough, the 3D printing is more advanced than the card paper printing. But the idea is I can have a $200 core set for $60 because I don't have to make and include the weight of all of those minis in the box. So I can give you a $200 game for $60. You can play it with standees, high quality standees with bases and all of that with a little stand-up thing on them. You can play your miniatures game, and then you have the STL files as well. So if you have a friend, or I'm sure there's online services where you can send those files in, they'll print for you. And then you get those miniatures, and now you can paint them. And the miniatures are super high quality. I mean, you're indistinguishable.
They're good.
So if you have a local store now that maybe can invest in a 3D printing machine, if this kind of model gets big enough, now that's another revenue source for a local store to say, yeah, come in, I'll print your Malediction minis for $20 plus material costs, And then now that could be a new way to think about how to serve customers. So I hope they're successful, and I do think in the next 10 years or so, we'll see more of this kind of, can we localize the production of the things that we need to play this or that tabletop game?
Yeah, I feel like that kind of leap we've been talking about forever. Like once 3D printing started becoming a thing, it's like, hey, what if this was centralized and you didn't have to print it at a factory and ship it from wherever the factory is to wherever, to the distributor, to the retailer, to the player, and it will be a hill to climb for any game to do it. But I do think, particularly if you could use that model on something that has a lot of sizzle.
Like a Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, it used to sizzle. I don't know where Star Wars is.
Yeah. But even still, Star Wars would have a lot of sizzle, right? It's really tough to do an independent theme. And I know they're having the lore written by Tracy Hickman, who's a novelist. And that's
not just a novelist, Zach. The novelist of
one of the novelists that ran my childhood.
Yeah.
And Van knows what I'm talking about. This is Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman. Did all the Dragonlance stuff, Autumn Twilight, and
so a notable
etc.
Notable author.
Yeah.
One of the things I really liked about the Malediction booth was that they had the miniatures in sort of three forms. So you have what comes in the box.
You got a lot of shots of this, right? This will eventually end up in the log.
You know I did, yeah. But you've got your like flat 2D standee kind of thing. So that's out of the box. If you don't want to print anything, you can't print anything. Here you go, you can play it. If you wanted a little bit cooler, they had them 3D printed and then just primed and then sprayed from a single direction. I'm sure there's some sort of word for that. But they look great. And then they had, of course, if you want to go hardcore. But I liked that there's these levels and each of them look a little bit better, but none of them affect the playability of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm more on the spray paint side, if anything. That's about as far as I could get. But I'm glad that they were like, we acknowledge that this is a way of doing it. I thought that was really cool.
You guys want to know the downside of a game like Malediction? It's another dark fantasy miniatures game. You know what I'm saying? Where you charge and you roll dice and you attack their forces, and it's like, if you're a 40K player, if you're a fantasy player, and they're still there apparently, if you're now a Warhammer or what's the other one? War Machine, they just got sold to Steamforged. No? Steamforged?
Yes. Yeah.
What, Hordes, all of this. I mean, there's no shortage of dark, emo fantasy miniatures games. So that is the only thing that would hold somebody up for malediction, because getting started on a new miniatures game is a journey. And so, like you said, going from 40K to Star Wars is like, well, that's not a direct replacement of this game that I'm already playing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it kind of depends on, what's your strategy. If your strategy is
Jonathan, MALEDICT.
Have this appeal to all the current miniature players, maybe that's smart.
Maybe.
Which is, they are clearly already here in this space, and rules-wise, it does function very differently than 40K or
not very differently though, right?
I mean, the fact that you don't have a giant army on your side of the board when you start, and it's like charged at each other, and there's big terrain. Anyways,
I mean, it's a skirmish game.
It's you have a deck of cards. You don't get to play things unless you draw them. You start with like nothing on the table. It is different. It's much smaller form. Anyways, that point of it is, if you're trying to appeal to that audience specifically. But for me, if you're going to push and again, it's like they're pushing the innovation envelope on the product form factor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either the best choice to not push it everywhere else, or you're only going half in. Because if you push it somewhere else, like if it had been a different theme that doesn't appeal to, or it's not appealing to the same exact beat as like the dark fantasy, all that stuff, you're either going to completely miss the current miniatures audience, or it's like, oh, thank goodness, something fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I know, 40K players aren't exactly looking for something fresh.
Yeah.
Which is where I'm saying an IP or a different theme would probably serve you to get people. To me, the standees mean that non-miniature players have access to this game. And then if the models are cool enough, then miniature players might be interested.
Well, but I was going to say, I don't think the game plays in a way that non-miniatures players would want to play it. This is a miniatures game. You've got a ruler.
Sure. You've
got dice. You've got things moving around a table. You've got terrain.
So it's kind of a bet of, do you think this theme, like if you're trying to appeal to current miniatures players, obviously it's going to be a very inexpensive comparable. Like you're getting a whole army or a starter set for $50 or $60 compared to a model in 40K. So it could be a very easy like secondary game and also game for the current audience.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to just kind of test this model and not, become the next 40K. So
it's hard to know.
It's at least notable because I haven't seen a ton of innovation like this in this space. But it is in playing in that same theme that we've seen over and over again.
Here's what you do. Steve needs to call up Andrew, previous colleagues, over there at Earthborn. You need to make an Earthborn miniatures game that now can be printed ultra locally via 3D printer. And now you have access to a non-dark fantasy world where you have these biomech things on the table, and you have your little rangers running around, or whatever their world needs to be. And
now you're cooking.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're cooking.
Steve, you can have that one for free.
So that was that. And then Skytear Onward we did. And then we had some, we didn't get a chance to get by the booth, but we had some Belgian friends of my Belgian friend, Jasper, who I stayed with on Monday. Yesterday? Right? Yesterday.
You left his
I left
place
Belgium
yesterday
morning.
morning.
Yeah. They had a game called Waffle Time. And apparently they were giving out free waffles.
Yeah.
And we missed that.
Man, I've spent all weekend trying to find
I
a good waffle.
I know. That's why it was kind of ironic.
Tell me this. If you're from Germany, are waffles just cake there? I love waffles.
They weren't crispy enough.
They were just like dense cake.
Yeah, they weren't crispy at all.
That's not American Belgian waffles are fluffy and crispy.
The crispy factor was the problem. We weren't experiencing that.
It was not crisp on the inside. It was just like cake. It's like, what is? And we went to that one.
It was kind of a dry cake too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there was not enough anything else to dip it in.
No, just champagne.
Anyway, strange. I wish I had known they were doing free waffles there. I love waffles, and Waffle Time sounds great.
Yeah.
We stopped by quickly the Plaid Hat booth, but Colby was like knee deep in. I don't know the name of the game, but there's like a
Crossroads game.
There it is.
So it was Crossroads was the one that they're freelancers, I think. Anyway, it's a game that he was very, very enthralled by. He and Nikki were at the booth, and it was play a Bluetooth track of like a dialogue narrative between scenes that
it's
happen
almost like
in the
choose
game.
your own. There's a lot of different. I remember talking to him about that a long time ago.
Yeah,
they were doing some serious voice recording work to do that game.
Which, let me tell you guys, still don't like it. I don't want any I don't want anything digital in my tabletop games.
Yeah.
Can we all just agree?
I mean, we're going so far as this card game doesn't even have digital art.
Yeah.
It's physical art that's digitized, but I'm with you. But again, that's
beautiful
board game space, and I'm just really out of my depth on that.
Well, you got to find a way to be different, right? Now there's too much noise, so you got to You got to start making things different until it all collapses, and then it'll rebuild itself. Arthurian Legends, everybody.
Look at that shot.
Hey, this is my order. I only ordered 2 booster boxes.
A lot.
This is all I can afford. And
you're building a house and having a baby.
I'm both building and tearing down a house, seemingly at the same time. And this was all I could afford. Oh yeah, we bought altered stuff.
We have not played it.
We didn't play it yet. We're gonna do it on stream.
Are we?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
The booth was packed.
Booth was packed.
Booth was packed.
Yeah,
booth was packed. We couldn't fit it in.
For those out there in the altered universe, how's altered going? What's the latest and greatest with that? I saw the QR codes. We had the one stream, and I checked out. But we did buy some decks to try on stream.
What else? Sorcery booth was packed. Altered booth was packed. All the booths were packed.
The Pilsner beer was amazing.
The Pilsners were amazing. Oh
you guys kept eating schnitzels?
Oh my gosh, Americans. We got to stop doing Pilsners the way we're doing them.
Badly.
I found out why. One of the big reasons. Apparently, Jasper's my buddy from Belgium, and he's like a absolute beer connoisseur. Like foundational understanding of beer. Works at a brewery, gives historical tours of the different styles and whatnot.
And water?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a sparkler.
Just give me one of those bubbly waters.
Oh yeah, he's going in.
Well, I just need
He's
water.
a European now. He wants it all to sparkle. Here's the thing about the Pilsners. Only the Germans and the Czech Republic, that area of the world, they're the only ones that do Pilsners well at scale, apparently, because they take a very long time if you want it to do well. So they take a long time to brew. And they're the only places that have invested proportionally in the scale to do that they can do it profitably and successfully. And so everybody else cuts corners and tries to short brew Pilsners. And so they're kind of close, but not at all close, because, the Pilsners we're having in Germany, that distinct style in the regional Pilsners, so good, so much better, so much different, clean, delightful,
amazingly
crisp,
good, amazingly
easy drinking, no hangover, right?
It was the only water we had.
It was basically the only water we had. Maybe that's how they do it. Man, I'm not worried about that system personally. But the Pilsners were great. The alt beers were great. The Weissens were great.
Yep.
And then Jonathan and I went to Belgium. And we had all sorts of
a whole different
farmhouses and sours, and of course the classic Abbey ales, the Rocheforts, the Choufs.
Yep. Our friend Jasper took us, and they're using wild fermented. What do you call it? If there's any Europeans out there, hold on.
Spofo or something? Spontaneous fermentation.
Yeah.
Well,
firm. It was something firm.
And what's weird is all the European stuff is just so ancient. It's so beautifully old and established and traditional. And as Americans, we come over there and we say, this is the coolest thing to have such a deep history of even just a Pilsner recipe that is 5 times older than our entire country. It's that's the kind of thing we yearn for, because there's a sense of convenience and lack of roots and stability in this country, that everything is kind of cheaply put up and disposable and convenient and all these kinds of things. So it's really cool to go in and see only old buildings, ancient architecture, ancient recipes for beer, feeling a sense of deep purpose and place in a location. But to a lot of the Belgian brewing scene at this point, that stuff's all just, for the boomers. That's all the old people stuff. And so now they're kind of doing a craft beer renaissance, trying to, pull in some of the stuff that's going on in Colorado and East Coast and West Coast from the States, and exploring all these new ways to brew. So it's kind of a fun juxtaposition between our appreciation for these beautiful old traditional recipes and a lot of the residents there and the brewers there being bored of the old recipes that they've been doing the same way forever, and trying to inject new things in the form of IPAs and all these kind of things that we're just sick of over here in the States. It's amazing how the world works, isn't it? I would like
Doc Brewing.
I would like grapefruit. I think
DOK.
Jonathan would like lemon.
Yeah,
Doc. DOK?
DOK. Yeah, I looked it up. And there's, if anyone's around the European area, Scenic Craft Beer Walks, get your sign up today. It was pretty cool.
How was Ghent?
Did Steven already say that our friend Jasper rented us bicycles? So we got to just like bicycle around Ghent.
All I saw was a Instagram story from Jasper of you guys drinking beer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
I know
we're
about
also
your trip.
bicycling.
Oh, we ate a lot of dried sausage as well.
Oh, yeah.
We went to an old pub. An
They had
old pub.
dried
Had me old.
sausages hanging from the rafters, and they had like a chalkboard.
Here,
like,
let me show you.
Pointed at the
Horizontally.
sausages.
huh?
It's like just a chalkboard of sausages.
Well, the chalkboard was on the same beam that the sausages were hanging off of on
Yeah.
metal hooks, and so you got to choose. Okay, I want this. I want this. I want this. It was very cool
That's
and
hilarious.
very delicious.
And they'd go up there and grab whatever sausage you wanted, chop it up, and
Put a
serve it with
little
mustard.
bit of mustard.
How does that work? Having the sausage just hanging out.
You can do it.
You can do it because they don't put chemicals in it. It's just fat and time.
And you just hang them up. And once they're dried out for a month or so, they'll last forever. And
Isn't
then
that cool?
they kind of they mold.
You think we could hang some sausages from the rafters at 3.0?
I think we really should. And it's like cheese. You know, like once cheese has its outer thing on it, it can last forever.
Yeah, it just gets
I'm
better
gonna be
with
real
time.
honest. I like the creativity here. I like the idea, but that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Dude, we can hang some sausages over the
Yeah,
fireplace.
you didn't taste those sausages. We actually packed a couple of sausages back in our pocket.
Backpack.
Steven's got some pocket
big,
sausage.
Big pocket.
Yeah.
backpack.
the biggest of pockets.
As Ocho says there, I could eat sausage and fresh bread and a good pills every single day, and
It
that's
was
basically
so
what we
good.
did.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, that was essentially it. Pills and sausage daily,
Yeah.
and more pills.
I'm sad that you didn't go to Ghent because we were biking around and it was just castles and old city gates.
So
And
I'm
it's
also sad.
it's
However,
beautiful.
I'm also glad
Look, the people have spoken, Zach.
because I felt
Agreed. Dry sausage at 3.0.
had I been at yesterday, one, I would have been miserable. I think the whole time, based on how I was feeling yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of expensive.
Two, it's true. I also don't think I would be here today if I had been at Kent yesterday.
Yeah.
So, strikes and gutters.
Well, I guess we all make our choices.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'm going to push hard for the dried sausages.
Yeah, I think so. Hashtag dried sausage at 3.0.
It's charming. It's old world. It's charming. We want to do something meaningful. We want to have a different vibe here. What if here? Let me get you this.
This is a serious
Let me
face
paint you a
there.
picture. Let me paint you a
I mean,
picture.
we've been talking about food service and how to do that and the nature of how to make that sustainable and good and easy. And do you want to serve these dumb little plastic wrap sandwiches like you do at Quick Trip, or do you want to do more of a kind of a Starbucks dumb plastic wrap thing? Just dried sausages. I'm serious. I'm really serious about this. What if it was just a massive amount of dried sausages? Now you've got a spectacle, and it's like an interesting thing to introduce your friends to. You go out there, chop it up, serve it with some mustard. Maybe you do some cheeses as well. Maybe there's like a vegetarian option, something easy to grab. Maybe some baba ganoush or something. You're done. You don't have to refrigerate it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you actually?
I'm very serious.
I don't believe
You don't have to refrigerate.
You want to talk about revolutionizing our intro
You don't
space?
have to refrigerate the sausages.
If there was just sausages hanging out, sausages on the top, cards on the bottom,
There's
everyone
no
knows what's going
refrigeration
on there.
needed. You could throw them all around the bar, just hanging sausages.
Just sausage.
And everybody would be like, "Wow, it's like an old world vibe in here." And there's a fire going in the background. and
AJ Foster's comment. Come on, hit me with it.
tabletop games.
No, not that. Yeah, Paul saying if you want dry sausage, smash the like
Smash that
button.
like button.
AJ's
Yeah.
comment's my favorite.
Join me at the sausage wall, AJ's.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the sausage wall. There it is. It's starting to sound like a Buc-ee's.
Another vote for sausage. Hold on. This calls for a poll.
Oh, let's put a poll up. Is there anything that you can dry out? There's got to be things you can dry out that are like vegetables, right? Just dehydrated vegetables or dehydrated fruit? We could run a dehydrated food service program. No refrigeration needed. Lasts forever. No waste. Dude,
What else are you going to get? Oh.
Yeah, we drank a lot of beer. We rode around on bikes. We stayed up till 2 a.m.
You don't have to pull it up, but Winnie and Agenda's comment is the main reason we can't have a sausage wall.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. But it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a play on the theme, right? We're going to change that. That store is not going to be a sausage fest, okay? We're going to make sure that happens.
You can't force it, but I hope
you
so.
can't. You can't.
We can do everything in our power.
I can get Shannon to show up once every day or so.
A
For
day?
for an hour.
Daily?
Yeah, I'd pay her to do that.
Hold on, I'm working on it.
I don't know how we got
You
here.
don't want
What
to
else
pay your
happened
wife
again?
to spend an hour at the game store?
I mean, I
Just kinda
could, I
be
guess.
Be an entry point. We drank a lot of beer. We stayed up till 2 in the
Yeah.
morning. We spent some time with some old friends that I had met 14 years ago.
I don't understand how you guys are here right now. I mean, I get it kind of, but
Desire?
is that it?
Yeah. Willpower?
You don't think it's your youth and
I think I'm
Stamina?
powering on good beer, to be honest with you. I could drink more of it right now. If I had a Pilsner.
I don't really drink very often anymore.
I know.
And I've always been a lightweight, and I feel like it's just worse now.
Yeah, you and
But
Jonathan
the
are
beer,
squares.
I felt fine. The thing is,
I
I'm
know.
sticky. I felt fine the whole time.
Yeah.
Until Monday morning, I was just like, probably more dehydrated than ever. I don't know. Hold on, I got to vote on this poll.
You don't unbox them, I'm going to cancel your vote.
Oh no, I'm losing. Oh no, we're coming back. The no gang.
You said, do you want to... Nobody wants to see dried sausages
Well, they're
necessarily.
going to see them.
Well,
It's part of the aesthetic.
we could also hide the sausages.
Well, I don't. I mean, that was not. We'll start out.
How
We'll
was you,
start out
Sophie?
with
It
this,
was
and
great
we'll.
to see.
I just think...
Sophie, also do not forget to send me that band you were talking about. Just a reminder.
I think the reality... Here's my pitch.
Come for the cards, stay for the sausage.
Whether or not we see the sausages, whether or not it's an aesthetic reality of the store, there is a lot of benefit to having a high-quality, old-world menu that does not need refrigeration.
You know what my
And
favorite
it doesn't need
high-quality
refrigeration.
old-world menu
It's
items
not
are, though?
super greasy, so you don't get it greasy on your fingers.
Yeah, it's true. It's not greasy.
Freshly baked goods.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
we
when
can
we were
have
in
some
Germany.
baguettes.
European pastry game is
Yeah.
puts us to shame.
And
Not the waffle game though.
Zach, I hate to say it, but
Their waffle game is bad. Now Belgium may be better, I would assume.
I hate to say it, man. Do you know what goes great with freshly baked bread?
Coffee, espresso,
Yep. And
espresso.
cheese.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
And dried sausage. It's what we ate at the bar.
Oh man, charcuterie boards. That
You know what's
that
on?
is
You know what is
befitting.
famously on charcuterie boards?
I'm aware, but not hanging sausage.
Well, it doesn't have to be hanging, okay? That's the last thing I'll say. You're getting stuck on the presentation rather than the
If I walk into a pub in Europe that has hanging sausages, very appealing. But the first thing I don't want someone to see when they walk into 3.0 is hanging sausages. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
It doesn't have to be the
just
first.
being
you should
real.
have seen it.
It
You
doesn't
should
mean
have
there
seen
can't
the
be
sausages.
sausage.
We
That's
can
not
put
on
them
the
in.
table.
We can put them in the
Yeah, we
back
can
room.
hide them if you want to.
We can put them in
That's fine.
storage.
We'll start off with them hidden and slowly introduce them
Mhm,
into
like
the
one at a
ceiling.
time.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
at the- you
Like
walk
we'll
in
put
and
them up
there's
for
one.
Christmas, and it'll get like such a good response.
It's like the
that we'll put them
sushi
up.
train. Let's have a train going around with sausages on it.
You may be onto something there.
Zach, I'm afraid to tell you that you're in the minority here. 73% strong yes on Covenant sausage.
You know what the beauty of this
3.0.
system
That's
is?
3/4.
The beauty of the system is that this is not a democracy. Look at this card. This is ridiculous. Are you opening your boxes on stream?
I'll open some. Do you want to do a seal real quick or something? What do we do? What are we supposed to do today, Jonathan?
So there's nothing to do today because the pre-recorded Alpha Clash thing took advantage of that.
Okay.
And I don't have any cards to show on screen. But if you guys just want to crack some packs, I mean, I'm not going to.
We don't have the Arthurian Legends cards yet.
Let's
No.
just open 6.
We don't.
Let's open 6. These are my boxes. We can do what we
I
want.
cannot believe this card exists. Shout out to Eric and the team for making this happen. We said it in the preview video, but this is one of the just most thoughtful things a partner has ever done.
Yeah.
Specifically, somehow for me, like I feel very.
Scene.
I don't even. I just can't believe it.
Hey,
Scene
do
is a word.
you guys see Sean's comment? He's also straight back to the office after
Oh,
getting home
man,
from Spiel.
Sean. And you guys are working the booth and stuff.
Oh, that's Sean,
That's Sean. That's the Sean.
Sean.
Great interview.
one of the lead developers.
Oh
for
yeah, he did
Sorcery.
amazing. That's Sean. Oh,
Sean.
okay.
I haven't pulled a normal Lancelot yet, and we opened a couple of boxes.
Dude, the whole. So let me get on a soapbox real quick.
Oh, hey, a jar of sausage is next to the counter.
That's trashier.
No, like a jar, not like a mason jar, like one of those like pickled eggs jar, but no pickling.
That is not classier than a mason jar.
What if it has a really nice top? You
I-
know,
we
like
don't
one of those
need-
like
Hey,
straight
check
glass.
this out. Check this out.
don't
Bring that promo back. Bring that promo
We
back.
don't need pickled.
Sean's saying this, I was told about this while we were there. The type line on this Lancelot is different than the other ones.
Oh, no way. What does it say?
Read this one.
Unique, mortal, and tireless champion.
So, saying the type line is a shout out to our constant support.
Oh, my gosh.
Aw, that's
That is-
wonderful.
So amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, the other one is like something. This is better.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Good game.
It's really nice too that it's unique because otherwise I do think I would have been convinced to go to 4 boxes to get the play set.
So it was really just a kindness to you.
Well, yeah, it was bad for the business because it's probably less sales.
Let me tell you this.
Good for me.
One thing about Eric's Furiosa, you have to expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay? So one thing they did, it was the point I was going to bring up, so I'll use it to segue back into this. But you can't ever count on anything. I would say odds are really high that the next promo for set 3 is going to be ordinary.
Yeah.
So that a playset would be 4. And I'm telling you this now if you're watching. We have spots open for the subscription.
Spins of money.
I don't think they will be come time for set 3. So,
and they may not be called subscriptions at that point.
That's probably likely. If you want a playset of those cards, and you have 2-box subscription,
Look at
like
Mr.
my friend
Marketing
Steven here, you might want to think about that sooner than later.
Just go to, you know what? I'm going to do it right now, Zach. I'm going to go to 4.
Yeah, on stream.
And I am going to send it down if I no longer want 4.
And the reason I say you have to expect the unexpected is because, thank you, Jesse. That really means the world to hear that. And that's incredible. That's the type line. It was cool to see, like, the Spell Slinger has the one agenda thing. Mm-hmm. The Wizard's Den. Curio, which we don't talk about, is in Japanese, which is super cool. Shout out to Hein for being awesome. But the rarity in the set, so with Alpha Beta,
Whoa.
Tireless Champions also shortens to TC.
Whoa.
There's some next level care going on up in here.
I just went to 4.
But
see how easy that was?
With Alpha and Beta, rarity was equal to the ordinary, exceptional, elite, unique.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of how often they would show up in packs, uniques were the least common, as it were. Expect the unexpected. In this set, seemingly, unique is not lined up explicitly with rarity.
Some people are bothered by that.
So there are uniques that are showing up, a lot of the SIRs, as elite type rarity.
Yeah.
Which some people,
I'm actually kind of bothered by that.
I love it. The thing I love about it is...
I like systems, Zach. I want it to be the same.
You can't... It's not like, in Pokemon you have the common, uncommon, rare with a little star. And now you have the, can't even read it because it's so shiny versions of cards in Pokemon. But the idea that you can't just so easily understand how common something is.
Yeah, that's true.
And that there's a mystery to it. I think that just makes it more fun to collect.
Yeah, that you've convinced me.
And I like that it does, but I understand why it would bother some people, but I don't know. I just dig chaos, I guess.
So what if...
They're not lined up.
And what if at some point there's an ordinary that's more rare than anything in the game?
That is what they're opening the door to being possible.
Yeah. And maybe we have to start making magazines again to understand the rarity of things.
There we go.
One thing I like about it is the ordinary, does nomenclature mean words that we use for it? Nomenclature is a deck building restriction, not a rarity thing. And so what that means is, in this example, the reason I think they did that is, from the sealed we've played so far, it lets them make the knights show up more often, but they still feel very unique in the setting. And so your decks kind of become, those are the very notable cards that you see in the decks. But they can almost guarantee that if you open 6 packs, you're going to get at least 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And then the truly unique uniques are just very rare. But what it means is you could have an ordinary that is as rare as unique. And in constructed, it's fine to have 4 copies of it. But in limited, maybe that ordinary is as an example, Grapple Shot. Mm-hmm. So if Grapple Shot in Alpha Beta had been harder to see, when you get it in limited, it's a bomb. But then in constructed, you can still have 4 copies of this thing. Now, I don't think it should have been ordinary. But the concept is there, which is, if you have cards that are problematic and sealed, you can still have them at the ordinary slot by not tying the rarity to the name. Yeah,
it's also an example of just continuing to push the envelope on not spoon-feeding people information.
That's right.
It's you don't just get to look at I mean, did the first set of Magic have rarities listed? Or did you just have to know?
There's a comment to that.
I think they had rares and commons, if I'm not mistaken.
So this is tangentially related to that.
Oh, cool. So this is it was the same in Arabian Nights, which I believe is the second major Magic set, and Antiquities were out of our depth.
I think I take it as set 3 from my conversation of people laughing at me.
And so this Arthurian Legends was pulling from that also with the 24 packs. So there's a nostalgic element of this as well. But no, yeah, you know what? I'm with you. Okay, I've changed my mind. We've done the impossible on the internet.
Also, it was Arabian Nights. These are the knights.
Arthurian Legends.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see what they're doing here.
But okay, yeah.
I'm
love
gonna
it.
be honest. We're talking right now. The only thing I can think about is that subtext line on Sir Lancelot right now. I can't get over it.
What if we cut the first 4 cards being the rare cards entirely as well, and the packs were just you don't know what's rare in the pack.
And we even saw set 1, the curios, which they don't talk about. Anything past the first 4 spots that was not ordinary was a curio. But we've seen with the squires with the funny text, those are ordinaries.
Wait, tell me more about that.
Have you not seen that?
No, I don't know what that
So
is.
they
have the same art?
They have the same art.
So I might have curio squires?
Yeah. So like there's the one squire that has the word drops in it. And the word drops, the text of it is actually like falling down the card.
Oh, I'd probably notice that.
And then there's the red one, the word, there's a word charge on there. Or charge is like in all caps. And then the air one, the word is actually floating to the top of the text box.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like very subtle. Yeah.
I love it. And we have to talk to each other to figure all this out.
Yeah.
They don't give it to you.
Yeah,
You have to talk amongst yourselves. Yes, more of this.
I saw people literally who'd open a lot of boxes going back through all their cards to try to see.
I'm going to have to go do that.
Yeah, I know. I left some, I'm going to be honest, I left some ordinaries. I only had so much room in my bag at the Airbnb. And now they're just lost to time. We could have been just sitting right there. Wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open 6.
All right. Here, it's your box. You do. Yeah. These are your cards?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to open a curio right now.
It's my curio, though.
I know. They're your cards. I'm just being clear before I open them.
Yeah. They're my cards. These are mine.
They're my cards. Oh, hey.
Void.
Real
I like
quick,
this
guys.
Void sticker, too.
We've got a little bit left on my hard drive here for recording. This was actually very helpful to me. Can you give a 1-minute how to draft Arthurian Legends? I know what you said to me, which is get the beef, nothing under 3.
Oh, the strategies.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't even a draft. This is just limited play.
Okay.
So sealed as well.
You ready?
Yep.
Here's, I believe, agreed upon Zach and Steven's limited strategy for the Sorcery TCG Arthurian Legends set. Number 1, how many things of 3 power or higher do I have? Put them into piles. Number 2, which elements have the most of those things? Choose at least 2 of those factions, maybe 3.
If you can get away with 2, stick to 2.
In addition, then look at all of the spells that do direct damage. Of course, there's the standard removal kind of spells. Take those piles and separate them out. Use a combination of beef plus removal, etc. to figure out your stacks. Usually that's going to be 3 elements. Then, after you've got your 3 elements, say how many of these are basically in my deck. So what's my deck size? If I need additional cards, I pull in tricks like the maneuver cards, the movement card, the valor reaction, which is actually incredible. All these kinds of things. I pull those in. Boom, I go 4 across the sites. If I need to supplement, I can do the pay 1, get an additional of 1 element sites, which I think are really valuable and limited. And I don't play the threshold minions. I don't. But we're still fledgling on this, so maybe they're worth playing.
Ship
That's
it.
Great.
That's it.
We're cutting it.
We'll do it live.
Beautiful.
We'll get to use the strategy live.
Great job.
And last tokens. Oh my gosh, are they important?
Man, that...
I love the. Can you pull up Angerworm's comment? I just love this mentality.
But that
Or this month.
Lance Warden.
Lance. Lance.
Good
Angerworm's going to open some packs
gracious.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
if you're out
open
there
it.
and you have some packs, how about you open one?
Look at that.
Yeah,
Let's just
hey,
cast the light
Someone-
there.
Grab a pack
Someone in
together.
chat was asking about Hub World. We'll talk about that next week with maybe a surprise. Don't.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a little surprise. We'll keep that hidden.
A little surprisey.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so fun. We're gonna get into trouble on the stream next week.
I still haven't seen one of those gilded cards. You know what? I kind of lied. I got a peek at a Grail this morning.
What is up with Evan?
He's just got hot hands.
Yeah.
I think it's his youth. He's just lucky.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't crossed the luck threshold yet.
Well, he's working here, so he must be very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, luckiest. Speaking of which, you made an announcement on the Discord channel. We have a position open for head of accounts and HR. I'll go ahead and plug that right now. You can find that on the blog on the website.
What would this person do at Covenant? Yeah, CEO doesn't know, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't need to know anything. That's why I hire people. No, I'm just kidding. So this is a dual role of leading our efforts, accounts being all the partners that we work with. So direct point of contact for them, making sure that we're on the ball of what they have going on and that we're coordinating our efforts and all that kind of stuff. So like, Alpha Clash 1 went live earlier, engaging with our friends over at Rising Empire to make sure they're aware of it and coordinate it as necessary. The other half is the HR role, which I've had the privilege of doing for a long time now. But there's some natural conflicts of interest with me, CEO, being HR as well. and just making sure that that Covenant's a great place to work. You jokingly said it, but truly interested in making sure that it is a great place to work, and that everyone here is looked out for and taken care of. So a people person, as you would.
Sounds good.
Not
me.
Oh.
All right, so a couple of things to note. Anyone who hasn't seen the box topper yet, we'll throw a top down on that. A couple of things that you get. 2 new avatars, the Templar and the Druid. These are not the only 2 avatars available in the set, but you do get the Druid, which has a mechanic that starts by making an owl here named Tawny. And then at some point throughout the game, you flip the Druid, and then now you're in bear form, and you summon the bear, and it looks like it's going to be just a ton of fun. I haven't got a chance to play with the Druid at all. Templar is kind of your basic beef for this set. So attacks for 2, which is notable. So a little bit less than Battle Mage, but also gives you the first Knight, Sir, Dame, etc. is 1 less to play. So this plays very nicely into the Arthurian Legends theme. Obviously, this is going to be a hoss of a card. Easy to work with. We also have all of the artists featured in this set are here on this card with the foiling done.
What's on the back of that?
You didn't have to do that, but you did.
Full art Grail.
The Grail. And I know, talking to Eric, a lot of the artists that they typically use and artists that they like maybe weren't a great fit for the Arthurian kind of old world style. So they very much want the right artists in each set, their styles being basically complementary to the theme that's going on. So that's why you'll see different artists in different sets. And then we get Lance tokens. Lance is the new mechanic. It gives you +1 and first strike when you're striking. That is not when you're attacking a site. It's when you're attacking other units or being attacked. And this mechanic in the game is beautiful for 2 reasons. One, because it creates a mini game of who's got the Lance tokens and how can you get them from your opponent. And it changes the math and kind of the tempo of the game dramatically. And then the second being that they introduced a mechanic in the most sorcery way possible, which is making it a physical object that exists in the game itself, so that it's not just a keyword that says this unit strikes first, but it's a physical Lance token that they can drop, that can be stolen from them, and that does the work of the keyword itself. So love that. And then we got some new foot soldier tokens in the pack as well. You always need little foot soldiers. And stealth on the flip of those lances.
I was really impressed with how much the Lance tokens mattered.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're like the thing in the set. Can
also,
I open this?
Get a rubble and some Lance rules. Yes, you can.
I have a need for speed. You know?
And this means that you don't have to go anywhere on the internet to know how to play the new set of Sorcery.
Well, there you go.
Let's get rid of the internet.
Which I love. Yes, thank you, Zach. I'm glad you said it. I've been dancing around that concept for years.
But here we are on the internet.
Google Translate was very handy, I'll tell you that.
That's the trick. If you can't ever, once the conversation gets too difficult, just bring out Google Translate, type in the sentence you want to say, translate, and then just turn the phone around. And that got us out of any situation where we needed that. And that's something I learned like 10 years ago.
And we don't have La Pops, right?
No La Pops, sorry.
What did we get?
My favorite card in the set.
Oh, yeah.
Right on top, the Salmon of Knowledge. Okay, so check this out. This is a beautiful card, first and foremost. This is a beautiful card. It is done by Severin. Man.
You opened this on the train.
Fish on.
I have a cool picture of you holding this. It's nice.
Check out this mechanic, okay?
Just pure joy.
It's so good. Submerge waterbound, so it has to be in water sites, and it goes under. Other units at this site may fish. So anyone who's at that site can tap, roll a d20 on a 14 plus, you banish the salmon and draw 3 spells.
You can go fishing.
No game is thinking like this.
Well, alongside your salmon, I have this frisky red squirrel. The fact that this can be 2 of the cards in our packs, and it makes sense. I love this squirrel.
Oh my gosh. And just imagine the variants that arise off the salmon here. Maybe you start in an all-water map and every location has a salmon underneath it, and then everybody's just like trying to catch the most fish. I mean, come on.
I got a heater of a pack over here.
What do you got?
Yeah, quick shout out to Cardboard Guide and Sean for doing a great job commentating.
Commentating.
They had never worked together before that day.
Oh wow!
And we're just
and a match made in heaven.
Fast friends.
Very good job.
All right, check this out. I got Pendragon Legacy. So 1 cost unique, 2 Earth Threshold. The unique magic of Endurance Stories. Shuffle any number of unique cards from your cemetery into your decks and draw a card. But then I got a foil
Holy
Lady
Grail?
Isolt, which is unique.
Oh, I've not seen this.
And
Whoa,
look at this art.
full unique. Let's go. That's a real unique.
This is a unique.
Ah, yeah. Hold me the goods.
Listen to this: 2 cost, 2 earth threshold, one attacks or 1 power, a unique mortal and unparalleled healer. If another nearby allied minion would die, return it to hand.
Oh my gosh! Give me that card.
We have the heat.
Look at that art, man.
It's so good.
Vincent. Oh, baby.
We said I'm keeping these.
That's
Just
beautiful.
kidding. You're keeping it.
I love it, man. Thanks for that.
Timothy Lee, I don't know, man. I'm beyond impressed with this set. Saying for some reason wasn't really impressed with Arthurian Legends. That's crazy to me. What do you think doesn't impress you about it? Oh my. Hold on. This is my pool.
Well, you put it over there. I don't know.
Dude, this cat, the lugbog cat.
Oh, it's everything
big
for
kitty.
me.
Hey, whenever I took that and I played it on one of our draft games on Zach's land, and it jams him up. You ever play anything over, like, even on the other stuff, whenever we play something on Zach's side of the thing, on tilt immediately.
Yeah.
He still won, but
Get him.
But I was tilted.
he was tilted.
Look at this. Camelot.
Look at me
It's a very silly
go.
place.
Unique minions cost 1 less to cast to nearby sites.
Look at me go.
And a foil rescue. Just in case.
So this Thankless Squire is an example of something that can be a
I don't think we've seen what that one would be, though. We've
Okay.
seen the other ones. So, like...
works harder than most, but it should be obviously different, yeah?
Well, I mean...
I'll just put them over here so that in
obviously,
case there's other ones
Let me
we
see
know.
if I have if you find a different Squire, let me... So, like this... The Reckless Squire with the charge word is in all caps.
Okay,
is what
I
I'd
would have
say.
noticed that for sure. You know what's crazy too is this limited format is awesome. You know what? Okay, hold on. Let me actually speak to this. What they have done with Arthurian Legends is they have made the sorcery engine create almost a different game.
My goodness, yes, worth talking about.
This limited format is so awesome. I think we want to do Arthurian Legends only constructed for a while too, because that will be a different kind of vibe entirely.
It's crazy.
It's so
And
cool.
It just means that like you can just get a set of sorcery to your liking, like whatever set you like 20, 50 years from now, and just experience that, and it's a self-contained, awesome experience. It's something really, and all of these sets are going to play differently. And if you actually can pull that off, where it's not just like, here's a couple cards that'll update my constructed decks.
Yeah.
They have done something magical if they can pull that off. This limited format is so different.
I even, from a constructive standpoint, you can play the 40-20 deck size with any one set.
Yeah.
And I think you get an almost completely different game. It plays so differently than Alpha Beta.
What was the rallying cry we had? 40-20 Arthurian Legend? 40-20 Arthurian Legends? Just play that for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I am truly amazed about how different of a game this is with this second set. Like, there's only one Voidwalk character. I don't know. I'm truly impressed.
Even there's a
Clearly
severe lack
without
of
words.
removal, which
Yeah,
is why the lands
yeah.
keyword is actually so important.
Yeah.
It's like combat removal is the way you do it here.
I think this golden harp.
Beautiful art.
Strike damage and life loss caused by nearby units is reduced by 2. There's going to be some real gold bricking strategies in constructed.
Zach, can we announce our Sorcery Con thing? About how Team Covenant will be there?
Team Covenant will be there.
In full force.
The whole team.
Literally the entirety
Our
of
entire
Team
company
Covenant
will be there,
at
yeah.
Sorcery Con.
Which is a feat because
Get your tickets today.
our Larry's remote, which is nice. We have
He's
an
not,
opportunity.
but he's not remoting into Sorcery Con.
No,
We're
he's not.
actually
He's
the bottom half of his
remoting
body.
in physically. Tell me about this sword and shield. How you feel about it?
I think it's an incredible card. Absolutely game-breakingly good.
You just kept playing it on me when we were playing it, Essen.
Well, it's just like in this limited format, exactly, right? It's like I play a 2 or 3 power thing, you play a 2 or 3 power thing, I play sword and shield and attack into you and win. Now you have a 5 power on your side of the board. We do. It's phenomenal. It's instant. This is the removal in the set.
I think playing it just like you described is so good.
Yeah, this is Lance.
Something
you know?
that already is in play, suddenly is +2, and then go.
Mm-hmm. I tried it on my avatar for a while, and that's not right. Did you already open all your packs?
Oh, yeah.
You're a disgusting man.
There we go, Nate. Can someone read this out loud?
I totally agree. Was in Denton, Texas on Saturday for the release event. By far the best limited experience I've ever had. Every card felt impactful. It's so true, and it's different. There's the Four-Berry Knot. Love this art from Jesse.
Become a fairy. That's what that does, right?
Yeah.
The fairy.
Bear minion takes no damage from units with 4 or more power and is also a fairy. So watch out. Our draft strategy might be getting targeted. We got the town.
To a degree.
Castle
Check out Justin's comment.
Justin says, can't wait to hang out with you all again. Lunch and the late night drinks are my favorite things in SorceryCon Seattle.
It was a blast.
That last diner stop was
Everything
peak.
was perfect.
It was peak for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nelly Long Arms. Water's Better Pudge.
I love it. I love that card.
Not immobile.
I love
unique.
forcibly submerging things.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites.
Shoot a projectile. If it hits a unit, drag it and submerge it.
Dunk it. So you can only submerge something on a water site, right?
Yeah, water's so good. It's crazy.
But that's so clever.
Water's so good. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, Jasper. Get out of here.
Late to
Just
the party.
kidding.
Have sausages been discussed
There
yet?
was a. We
You
even
wouldn't
had a
believe
whole
how much
poll
sausages
on it,
was discussed.
Jasper.
I think is he trolling us or
I don't think he's trolling us.
Is he real?
Yeah, I think he's real. We even promoted Doc Brewery and the beer tour.
Can people see the sausage video on my phone? Wow, dangerous thing to say on a stream. Hold on.
We just got banned from YouTube.
Someone could probably zoom their video way in.
Hold on, let me kill the chat. I'm gonna try to make this.
You just have to. You'll have to like either plug it in. Do we still?
No, I'm just gonna. Can I just put it really close? Yeah, do it.
Hold on. Let me get the. I'll focus it.
Or you can do the top down.
Oh yeah.
No, that's harder.
I don't think I'm actually fast at building decks or opening packs. I just think I don't get as distracted.
All right. Where is?
Like, look at this.
All right. Let me get you focused up here.
How close can I be?
Be pretty close. And this is the way we do it. This is technology.
Oh yeah. Phones on
is
phones.
Is this a video?
Yeah.
Video. Okay.
Can you press play?
Yeah.
Look at those sausages
where's
up
the
there.
play button?
Bottom left. I don't know where that is for your hands.
Oh wait.
Across.
No, that's
Over.
Oh
Yeah.
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 It's really hard to see.
Look at this. Look at those sausages.
Look at that.
Tell me you don't want to drink some ales and play some games there.
Mead.
All right. There you go. Amazing.
Tell you, beyond the sausages, if we can get those German Pilsners in.
Pills and sausages, man.
We could probably make our own pills.
We'll get the pills if you approve the sausages.
I got bad news.
Also, don't play these field laborers in limited. Okay? It's never going to pay off. Here's the thing about this limited format. There's no card draw. You don't have the sorcerer to basically be a salve to your bad ideas. So, don't play any cards that aren't instantly impactful.
Yeah.
Now, this would be good and constructed.
That one was less good. I mean, that was the one I used Valor on, which was nice to have, but if it was 3 strength, it would have been better.
You've got infinite mana, really, because you are limited by cards, not resources, in this limited format. Because we don't have the sorcerer.
How about Brown Bears?
How about Just a Rock being a terrible card also? Don't play Just a Rock.
People are
even
so
in constructed. Don't play it. A 1-for-1 trade. Don't bother with that. That's an absolute trap.
People
and
are
I'm the
up in arms
master.
about that.
I'm the master of
Master
traps.
of traps.
Don't play Just a Rock. You're just at best you're trading, but you're never really. You're doing it after they've already got a benefit. It's no good.
All right. So what the rules of the game were: find all your 3+ strengthers.
Yeah,
There's so few, man.
I know.
I've got like 3 or 4 per color.
Let me finish opening these packs if I can get less distracted.
Yeah, I'll just go take a walk.
Pendragon Banner, look at that, and a foil Band of Thieves. Nearby allies have +1 while there are no enemies here. This is a good one. +1 power is a big deal.
Yeah, it's so good.
Band of Thieves, this is a fantastic card in limited.
I love that
my
art.
gosh. Fantastic card. I'll put this over here. Lumber Giant, great card.
See the number on the top right?
Yeah, it has a 4.
It's a 4.
Power Flight, great card. I bamboozled you with that one.
You did.
Some people are really into Sly Fox. I don't think it's impactful enough. Task Collector could be good, maybe. Hamlet. Blacksmith Family.
We don't have our draft kits here unless you do.
I think I might. I might. Yeah, I think I might.
Appreciate that, Nate. Nate saying my efforts rival Spider-Man is trying to keep the stream on the rails.
Poster
Remember,
Gate.
Zach
Speaking
was
of
the guy
trains,
that
everybody's
jumped
got a
into the
question.
frame with a Bulk Box shirt last stream, so he's got some bills to pay.
It was on brand though.
It was on brand. It was off
even.
rails, but
Yeah.
on brand.
Yeah, we were on. I don't know how. Again, is how we got on the sausage train.
Yeah, Jasper came back and sausage trained it up again. It was 72 to whatever 100 minus 72 is for yes on the sausages on the rafters.
28.
That's just for Jasper. I know that the people want it.
28%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't there something weird with this?
They go next to each other,
But
and they're spelled the same.
oh yeah, there they
There's
go.
backward spellings. Look at that.
I'm a sucker for this at all times.
One of the so there's this series of knights. It's 2 colors, so this is a yellow knight.
Yeah.
Of all the different mixes, I really liked. There's the black and the white knight, which is when you mix the opposite spectrum colors, so like water and fire, and then earth and air. And they have the different abilities. All the other knights just have lance and the same stat line. That was a very clever way to do that. Also, I didn't know verdant was a color reference.
Verdant is like verdant green.
I've never
That's
seen
right.
this card before. Have you seen this?
Rebel Bogart. I have seen that.
This is one of my favorite cards now of all time.
Is he in the pig series?
No. An awfully unpredictable elite fairy. At the start of your turn, gains a random mutation. Airborne, range, lethal, or +3 power. Games, it's just doing it.
It's just doing it.
It's just doing everything you need it to do.
What, like a D4 for that one?
Yeah, we'll do a D4 or a D20 divided by 4, I guess would work there.
So much math.
That's probably why there's 4 options.
Someone thought about it.
Yeah. Someone thought about it.
The which is the knight that has the best? My favorite art. I thought it was Yellow Knight.
Purple?
Purple Knight.
The
It's
little
Purple
flower
Knight.
guy.
Yeah.
Purple
Oh
Knight.
goodness gracious! That
Okay,
Purple
now
Knight.
the Wunder team that is Zach and Steven are going to follow their draft strategy to a T. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, or a limited strategy, I'm going to start with anything above 3 or more power. So 3 or more power and any removal damagey spells.
Okay.
So 3 or more power,
I'm going to do
3 or
the
more
same.
power, 3 or more power, damagey spell. Sorry,
Would you consider
Same.
Valor a damaging spell?
I think so. I think it's a damagey spell. Iron Mentalis, a weird 3 power or higher, not certain. Pendragon Banner gives me extra power. I like it. Move +1, carry an ally, straddle, discard, draw. No. Nelly, I think you gotta put in the kill pile. Castle Haunt.
Nelly is crazy unlimited, man,
This is an exception to our 4 power strategy
because it's stuck.
because it can't go anywhere, which is inherently not that threatening. So I'm gonna leave it out for now. Do I run the Salmon Knowledge Unlimited? Draw 3 is crazy.
Did you see?
I'm
Did you
gonna
see
put it in.
the video they posted with Ira?
Yes,
saw they
I
posted
didn't
it.
watch
I
the
haven't
video.
watched
He's going
yet,
through
but-
the binder of Arthurian Legends cards and just kind of telling the story. It was really nice. One of the things he was saying was Firebolts from set 1 was originally supposed to be magic missiles,
Cool.
but then the art came back and it was too fire for it not to be a fire card, so they switched it,
So cool.
and that's what magic missiles in this set became. Magic missiles.
Jury's out on Hamlet's Ablaze for me.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna put it in for now.
Literally this morning in the car, I was thinking about Merlin with the orb, but I was also thinking about running Hamlet's Ablaze and the Castle's Ablaze with the orb and just like nuking all their stuff.
I mean,
It's one of those things that happens once and then you're happy about it, but like 9 times out of 10, or maybe
It doesn't happen.
29 times out of 30, it's not going to happen.
there's some serious choke strategies that are beginning to activate, like with Tax Collector
Yeah.
and destroying
Yeah.
their stuff.
Oh, Tax Collector
and
was fun.
Maddening Bells and all that kind of stuff. I think you can get into some really degenerate stuff.
I think you got to get Tax Collector out like the moment he can come out. So third turn, that really would jam him up.
Steven,
Definitely.
I
When
think we
you're
got a
selling that
stinker
card.
over here.
Oh well, I'm looking good. So, I make an exception also for Reckless Squire. Okay, that card is bomb.
Gosh, that card is so good.
Card is bomb, man.
It's the best Squire.
Exception to your 3 power and or removal.
Yeah. Reckless Squire is great. You also have to think a lot to build a good deck, of course, but maybe not a lot. Wouldn't be limited if you had to think a lot. Shellycoat, I don't know. I want it, but I don't know. Keeney Banshee can have some real good moments. Helpful Hob is going to open up some things in Constructed. Led Astray is a great card. Okay, where are you at?
I'm in trouble.
Is that your beef stack?
No, so I did it by element.
That's what I'm about to do. Beef by element. Beef by Dre.
I see what you did there. Beats, beef.
Yeah, it sounds the same.
Nice wordplay. Good job.
Thanks. This doesn't really count. I'll put that up as kind of an exception. I don't really count Iron Man Talus either because he confuses me.
He's just a 4-cost 3 with no threshold requirement.
Okay, so right off the bat here, I'm thinking Earth is cut. I've only got 2, and one of them's a 7. Do I have any big Earth spells? No, so we're not playing Earth. It's gone. Which means White Knight, unfortunately, is probably gone.
Okay. So
But I could also run the Earth guys, so maybe I'll break my rules. We'll see.
I think
It's not impactful enough. He's gone. Okay.
So you were doing it by element, by power. And you're doing B first.
I'm doing beef, and now I'm looking at my damage. I'm not going to put hamlets in.
Yeah, so according to your math, Earth would be my cut as well here. This is my beef.
Yeah, unless you have like 3 or 4 brown bears. I mean,
I don't.
Yeah.
This is the beef. I do have a squirrel, though.
very good.
Doesn't really matter.
Okay, so I've got here all my beef and my cooking spells.
Now, here's the thing, though. So I got this nearby minions bounce card.
Mm-hmm.
And Valor.
That's pretty strong. Are they bomby enough?
And Stone Rain.
I guess you have to use your brain, you know?
I don't know. That's a hard thing to do at this hour.
Walked into that one.
I mean, why do we play?
You said you had a foolproof system.
6.
And I would be rich by tomorrow.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I've got 21 cards here that, to me, represent all the cards I actually want to play. And then I'll just take this and I'll add 3 cards and I'm done.
Let's see.
Who's laughing now?
12, 13, 14. Let's just see if I can get there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
I don't think you're gonna get out of this one alive, Zach.
It's not good. This is bad. I don't think it's that bad, but it is not good.
I also agree. Burning Hands was a real good one, just in general, like as limited play goes. But it has to be on Immortal. Caught Zach on that one.
It does have to be immortal.
Valor also amazing. I mean, I love those play on your turn cards. I'm glad there's only 1 per set so far. But Valor, they keep the power for the rest of the turn is a real big deal. Really big deal.
Valor. I don't know about Steven's deck building rules.
Yeah, Snowball, Nate Smith.
Snowball's so good.
Snowball, there's going to be some really cool constructed plays using Snowball. Hopefully, a lot of them that happen on camera, because I think it'd be really cool to see.
All right, I've got 24 playables. How about that?
Are you guys playing a game? You going all the way?
I don't know.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got there. It's great.
Did you add the threshold generators?
Nope.
Well,
I didn't have to get there.
So here's something that's kind of interesting that I might be able to do. This is where, you gotta think a little bit.
I'm not playing it.
So notably, a card like Common Cottagers. So there's a version of this card everywhere, and it doesn't have any threshold, but it provides threshold. So a lot of times I won't play these cards, but I do have an option here of bringing in. If I have 3 of them, I might consider it. There's 2. There's maybe 3. No. If I had 3 of these guys, I might consider doing that, making a cut, and bringing in White Knight, because White Knight is so strong. It's just so good. Let me make sure I didn't miss one. And I imagine this stuff will change as we learn more. You feel bad about your stuff?
I feel miserably bad.
Good.
But,
Good.
you know, a lot of times in limited, you just got to make what you got work.
You gotta make things. Yeah, you gotta make things work. Okay. So yeah, that's all.
So we have two things going on here. One is we don't have our draft packs.
No, I might have them.
All right, let's see if he solves this problem.
Let me do it. I'm ready.
You are going to play.
I don't know. You're gonna leave, right?
Yeah, I'm about to leave.
Yeah. We're not doing pops or anything, so
No. So, I mean, I can just give you guys the mouse and let you all handle it.
we can just do it.
Cool. How's everyone doing out there?
Yeah. How are you doing?
Me? I am
You taking
tired. My nose is still stopped up from
But it's been stopped
3
up for like
weeks
a
ago.
month, yeah.
Yeah, it's unpleasant.
It not going away while we're in Germany is a little concerning.
Yeah, I'm going to be calling doctor today.
Yeah, good.
Where's my bag? Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I got it. Oh,
Yeah, what's the general if you're out there and you've been checking out Arthurian Legends, what's your general take? Any hot takes or thoughts or positive or negative? I'll take them all right now. And then anyone that's been affected by this whole USPS situation. We're down to like I think a single digit percentage of people who don't have their stuff from us yet, but this is very abnormal. We're posting some stuff in the Discord about that, but yeah, it's just not. People still waiting. It's crazy to me.
I've got a pack.
He has a draft pack. Is it unopened? It's opened.
It's open up. It's got some tokens and stuff
So
in it too.
I didn't know until we opened it. Yeah, it's very full. It's a very full draft pack. But this has like kind of enough stuff for 4-ish people. Tim Aiken asking why Tulsa was so backlogged. I have no idea, man. It's just crazy.
They were just backed up, I guess. Lack of staff, lack of funding, lack of anticipation, lack of management. The reason everything's bad.
Yeah,
People not
it's just-
paying attention or caring.
And suddenly and surprising,
Yeah.
without warning. We've been doing this a really long time. I think the only time I've seen USPS be this bad was during like the first year of the pandemic. There were a couple times where it was just suddenly difficult, but it was like expected and like a known. Everyone was struggling with it.
Yeah, it's like pandemic.
So just for them to all of a sudden be strange. Tim actually is asking if we know if the mail sorting getting moved to OKC is going to affect us. So there was an article a couple weeks back they posted. They're not actually moving to OKC unless they reconsidered that as well. But who knows? This was very unexpected. Paul asking about the draft pack. So it's essentially, they put it in the retailer kit. They also have it on the Sorcery website where you can get this. One draft pack is enough to effectively cover 3 or 4 players. It comes with 4 Spellslingers, which is the new kind of default when you're playing limited access avatar. He lets you start the game with 4 spells in hand instead of 3 from your spellbook, and then you can tap to play or draw a sight. So unlike the avatar, you can't just tap to draw cards. And then it's just got generic sights, 1 for each color, like this spire. And you can have any number of spires in your deck. It's air threshold, but it doesn't have any text. So that means when you open like a common village in a booster pack, that it actually does something. Because when we were playing Alpha Beta, we were just kind of using these as default sites. But it meant you had dead cards in your pack. So now actually getting the Foot Soldier on play is a benefit of drafting. Like you could draft those and there would be a benefit. Or if you open them in a sealed pool, they actually do something.
Which is sick. I'm trying to I feel like I'm seeing behind the matrix on all this now.
The set?
Yeah. Just like, I think my limited brain has just gotten better honed since we've been playing more. Charge me with this one we can. So Fine Courser is awesome.
Oh my gosh. Fine Corsair can move your avatar.
Keep
Yes,
that in mind.
sure can. It can move anything. Sugar Plum is kind of good, but not strong enough on its own.
Where'd you land on Tooth Fairy?
I think Tooth Fairy is good, if I remember
It's creepy.
remember the text.
It's very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I got you a spell slinger out. There's the rest of stuff's
Thanks. Okay, so here's what we've got. First of all, I've got to ask, how many mortals do I have before Keening Banshee is actually worth it? 3 Band of Thieves. Those are mortals. This can be cast for 0 if an allied mortal died this turn. That can be very notable. As you might expect, 0 is an important word. And so having 3 already here. Do we have any in water? Yes, a 4th one in water. That's already enough. I know the Squire and the Harassing Ruffians are also mortals, Vikings as well. So yes, so this looks good for our beef pile in air. Magic Missiles, Arc Lightning, always going to be great spells. Love it. Then on water, we've got lethal 3 power. The Afank is on the lower end of things that I like, but it's very good. Swindler Troop is excellent. Give another nearby allied minion stealth. Can't be defended. And long arm is fantastic. Mirrored Fomorians, I don't know. 6 power, it's a big number. Getting to 7 sites rather than actually just drawing spells is actually tough for me.
Yeah.
So this is a cut. This is like in the maybe not pile. If it had an in, when it comes in effect, that would be significant for me. Ribble Boggart, yeah, awesome and fun. And Snowball, a game-breakingly good card. Then on the fire stack, we've got 2 Lumbering Giants. Love that they're 4/4s. Harassing Ruffians, 3/3s that can't be defended. Fantastic. Vikings coming in at a 4 with an ability. Don't care. That's great. Reckless Squire is just awesome. The reason is Reckless Squire is essentially a spell, like a magic spell.
Yep.
So this is like saying choose a unit within 1 space of a site you control and give it first strike and +1 power. And then you also get a 1 strength body. It's awesome. This is how removal works in Arthurian Legends. It's very much based on units, passing lances, and those charge abilities. So Reckless Squire, cannot recommend enough. Lava Flow, beautiful damage spell, and Burning Hands, beautiful damage spell. So of the things that I actually want to play, what is this? 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. I've got 19 cards here. So then this is my stack of 19. I need to get to 24, so I need 5 cards. I think Pendragon Banner is very good.
Terrible card.
I think Salmon Village.
How do you not play it?
Is playable. It's playable. And what's funny is a lot of times it's like the best thing for your avatar to be doing is trying to fish. Next up, Fine Courser is it. This card is a removal spell, so I love it. Golden Harp. Wow. I don't know. I'm not the guy that plays that card. Banishment is a good card, maybe. Power of Flight is great. Draws you a card, replaces itself. Can also be essentially a sudden removal spell. Led Astray is a great card. Oh, it's a great card. I don't know if it's good enough. If it drew a card after you played it, I'd play it over Power of Flight for sure. Shameless Squire, excellent. Has a lance, and then tap something whenever it comes in.
Drops.
Mm-hmm.
On the
It's like
Curio,
dripping.
it's like dripping down.
And then Shellycoat, not as good as Shameless Squire to me.
But creepy.
But creepy. Okay. So we need to go 5. How about did we just do this?
Done.
If I was in a tournament, I'd probably cut the salmon and add a 2nd Power of Flight. That's the only thing I'd change here.
Yeah, you power of flighted me. Pretty surprising.
Dude,
that was a clutch card.
It replaces itself.
Yep.
One of the only cards in the set. And it gives you something that can move
It
diagonal.
changes the vectors, so you can't defend against that.
It makes me want to put it in right now, but I'm not going to do it. And then Spell Slinger, in honor of Jesse, of course. You just start with 4 spells. So there's my 5 extra cards. And then I look at my sites. You basically run all of the sites that you pull in your respective elements because they're better than Blink. So Pawn for an extra -1 on a beast. Bog is actually a very significant card. It
Look at the art.
makes things immobile until your next turn. Bog plus Hamlet's Ablaze. Good little combo. A couple of bonfires to destroy lance tokens and some fancy things that your opponents play, like Sword and Shield. Forge, fantastic card. Love that one. And then Beacon, which I hadn't seen, gain 1 for each nearby site with an enemy atop. So this could be a +1 mana, maybe a +2 mana. Treetop Hideout gives stealth to a nearby ally is fantastic. Lookout, I hate because I don't want to carry the information, but it's powerful. Look at your opponent's hand.
It'll be all bad cards anyway.
Are we playing?
I don't know.
You're pretty much one step away at this point.
You want to tease people and say next time?
It's 2:11. I bet we can get it done before 3.
All right, we're going to close the stream at 3.
Okay. No matter where it is. We'll play some fast sorcery. Do you want a mat?
I can get a mat. Do you want a mat?
Yeah, I want a mat. Is it easy?
I mean, I see one.
We got to get that.
Boom, boom.
Well done.
Yeah.
I say I'm tired, but I'm not sure.
Perfect.
I'm at like the loopy stage.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a fun one. That. Boom, boom, boom.
John, can you grid me?
Not without everyone seeing the grid.
Yeah, it's okay. They can see the grid.
All right, everyone.
Behind the scenes.
Look behind the scenes here.
If you're this deep. I think I nailed it. That's pretty close.
Oh, how bad? You going middle line to middle line?
What I'm trying to do. Trying to get that, you know? Oh, I see, like the...
Mm-hmm.
Can you zoom out a little bit? No, it's all right.
We'll probably just play across the middle anyway.
I can't. It's not in the middle of this mat, which drives me crazy. That's good. That's good. It's funny.
Okay. Take away the grid, John. It's going to bother me.
Oh, it's they can't see the grid anymore. But you
Okay.
All
I
right.
just have to right click on it, but by right clicking on it, it activates it briefly.
4 and 3. You got to die. I don't have my d20s here. They're in my sorcery bag.
Mm-hmm. Can you pull me 2 ordinary waters and then 1 of each fire and air? While I'm doing that?
Where did you put them?
The pack? Did I hand you the pack?
On that stack, yeah. You said
1 fire, 1 air, 2 water.
Good one, Frank. I like that. I like that.
he called back to the
He
sausage.
called back to the sausage.
1 fire, 2 water, 1 air.
Yes.
You basically want 4 of each.
Steel Slime, I honestly don't know how much more backstage this stream could get.
Choose your favorite.
Ooh. Well, the one that looks different, of course.
I'll take the gold and blue.
It was even.
All right, I'll go first. That's the easiest way to do this.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just doing a 4-4-4. You can get fancy with this to see how many of your 2 thresh and 1 thresh cards and the spread. Maybe do a 3-5 on some of them. But my thinking with not running the threshold generators and limited, is that you really have time to draw into your sites. And a lot of times tapping your avatar to draw a site is the best use of your avatar, rather than wasting a card draw, a spell draw on a site draw at the beginning of your turn. So once you get to like 4 to 6 mana, a lot of times you can actually just wait, draw a card, and then tap your spell slinger to draw a site, and then play it next turn. So I think hitting your thresholds on your sites is better than wasting spellbook slots on 2 power minions that are just not going to be impactful mid to late game. But it's a risk. Sometimes you get resource locked and you gotta essentially waste card draw on trying to find your thresholds. Wanna cut this?
You're good.
Is there anything really valuable in here I shouldn't shuffle fancily? I don't know. You got all the really valuable stuff.
I wasn't paying attention to your pool.
Are you running Camelot?
Nope. I'm also not running the Spoiler Unique.
Made some real lemonade out of lemons.
Well, you just got to go where the bodies are.
I'll know where I get my Band of Thieves, I guess.
I'm just going to put this over here.
Thanks.
Way down town.
Way down yonder in the Indian Nation? Is that right? I ride my pony, yeah.
You're asking the wrong lad.
Where I was born. Oklahoma Hills. That's the song there. Okay.
You think you're more of a Templar or a Druid guy?
Druid. No, I'm actually more of a Templar player. Yeah.
I
I think the theme of the druid is more appealing, but the mechanics of the Templar are way
I just
more
noticed
appealing.
the 2 strength on the Templar.
Yeah, 2 strength and then just fundy -1.
And then that's gonna be my head.
I know, Oklahoma Hills are I was born.
You just got.
Oh, look at this. See, this is why you gotta shuffle. I got my 3
Whoa,
waters.
hey, did you see this one? A hot tip from Sean there?
Last until your next turn. Didn't know that. Didn't read that at all.
That's a problem.
Yeah, the defense bonus of being airborne is crazy. Can't touch this.
Even better.
Yeah, how much beef do you save? All beef all the time? Right? It's Banshee. I'm going to toss the Banshee.
I like that, Steel Slam. Every badge is a backstage badge. That's how it should feel.
I'm going to keep this.
Yeah.
And then I don't need this one. Do I have any beasts that I'm going to play? Not in my hand, so I'm going to mulligan that one.
Yeah, Sophie, I'll figure that one out.
Oh, man.
You just send me the link.
Yeah, Cardboard Guide. Zach, you have
Thanks.
Spotify for sending weird Danish folk electronica? I think we all have Spotify for that.
So we were
I would like some of that.
we were talking about how people got into sorcery. She was apparently going to Kickstarter to back a vinyl album of her favorite indie folk electronica Danish
Cool.
band.
Wow.
And the algorithm was like, hey, you might also like this thing, which is true. If you're into indie Danish folk electronica,
There's probably
Vinyls,
a pretty big Venn
like
diagram on
vinyls.
that. Yeah.
you're probably into sorcery or could be into sorcery.
That's awesome. And then
Isn't that
the rest
amazing?
is history.
Uh-huh.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So the internet does have some upsides.
I'm going
It
first.
does.
Is that right?
It does. As we learn
You
with
want the
Google
roll.
Translate, there are some things screens
That's right.
can do.
No chocolate souffle.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
All right, I'm going to throw a Forge down and make a Lance to start. I'll go ahead and just pick it up with the Spell Singer in case you've got weird stuff, and I'll pass to you.
All right.
Oh, Atlantis is so good.
Straw sight.
No, I'm going to be on the edge of my tippy toes finding my thresholds on this one.
I'm gonna play a stream. Looks like our walk. Doesn't that look like we had the little Knights Who Say Knee moment where we
Yeah,
were walking
it
across
was
the little
beautiful,
board in the
wasn't it?
water. It's hilarious. Anyways, I'm gonna play a stream. I've sunk to the depths playing water over here.
It's playable. You should be happy about that
I mean, I am to a degree.
for the sake of the game.
And then I'll pass to you.
For someone who hates water so much, sure complained about not having it in Europe. All right, let's stand up.
I like drinking water. I don't like playing water.
Strong. I keep my drinking water and my playing water separate, okay?
I destroy
boss.
water. I don't utilize it.
We'll go stream there, and then we'll pass to you.
Teams playing water.
You kind of got to play what you can, you know?
Straw other side.
Now, my next side draw is going to be really important. Maybe I should be running those threshold guys.
Is lance considered a weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Asking for a friend.
I think it says it right here in the lobby. Weapon. Yeah.
Lobby bar. Well, let's play. Ooh, no, don't play that yet. I see.
What's up, contested cards? Great. Did you grill somebody about saying that they watched us on Mondays? Do you not remember that? So when you're blacked out at a convention, you're grilling people about watching the stream.
Watch out for Zach.
That's what I've got to deal with.
I guess so. What did I even do?
He was sick with
I
currywurst.
mean, Wednesday has only barely been the stream recently.
Did you do something?
Was I really grilling?
You grilled him.
I know
Like a bratwurst.
the topic du jour today is sausage.
Well, if we had dried sausage, you wouldn't have to grill anybody.
There it is. No grills left. I'm playing a location. I just have to decide which one. I realized there was text on the one I wanted to play. Sure. I'll play a bonfire and not trigger anything. And I'll pass to you.
You could trigger it, just wouldn't do anything. I'm going to start draw sight. Way down yonder. We'll send Bog here. Units here will be immobile until the nearby next turn.
Okay.
Until your next turn, units are immobile while atop this side. And then I'd love to play a card, but I cannot, so I'll pass to you.
I feel like this has been more typical this set than previously.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're also using similar strategies. So I do wonder if I had 2-drop and 3-drop, if the pressure early would be enough to overcome the beef and removal that you're going to start dropping on turn 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's, and we kind of ran that experiment a few times, and the little cards were not sufficient enough to beat the 1 magic missiles that takes care of all of them, or the 1 burning hands.
Yeah.
So,
Taylor, there are no precons for Arthurian Legends. Question: Who controls this site?
You.
Who controls this site?
Me.
All right, great. I'm going to play a poison ball here. It says enemy avatars lose 1 life for each nearby site they control. So that would be 2.
2.
That card is so good.
It's a 3 of in any format you can run it. Yep.
What in the world is this?
It's good.
Holy smokes. Okay. And then for my next trick, I'll pass.
Start off. Let's open things up. See, this is what you can't have happen. All my cards are dual fire, and I've drawn. I went through all 4 water sides in my first draws, and then I've gone through 3 air sides now. So we're in a problematic situation, but you're putting no pressure on me, so it doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna seed you placement tempo, because a lot of these matter. Now I'm just going to do, I'm going to go here. Look at an opponent's hand, please. Let's see what you get.
Spire.
All day.
Treetop.
Okay, stealth. Yeah.
Poison Well.
Got it.
Band of Thieves.
Cool.
Lumbering Giant.
Cool.
Bug Cat.
Oof.
And a Burning Hands.
Ah, great. That's a great hand.
All my best cards.
Congratulations.
Single hand. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Woo!
Over to you. We got no 4-drops for you.
I would just love to get a sight right there, I see. You didn't want to play a sight there in case I had another one of those things.
It's really just all of my sites affect things that actually are happening on the board, and nothing is currently happening. So I'd rather not waste it. What's up, Locator?
Let's tap. We'll play Lookout.
Lookout!
We'll check out your little
Alright, Treetop Hideout. Beacon,
What the heck?
gain 1 for each nearby enemy minion, so enemy site. So I'm thinking I'll at least get 1 out of that. I've got Harassing Ruffians, Lumbering Giant, Vikings,
Oh, sweet lord.
and Snowball.
Ooh, boy.
Let's read this one.
Yeah, so watch out for that one.
It's so funny. Okay, so you're looking for fire.
Yeah.
You have 1 fire site, so these are all unplayable until you get the next one. Great. And then you're gonna have some heat.
Yes.
So I best get to getting.
You best get to getting.
Okie dokie. I will play a Lumbering Giant here.
That's it.
Over to you.
Take
Contested
4.
cards. Thoroughly enjoying AL so far. Anybody know what the best avatar for fairies is? Still haven't figured that out. Yeah. One thing I love about Sorcery is it feels like it's still being figured out.
Yeah.
Beta was still being figured out when this came up.
Okay. Let's go.
Did he see the fire?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of had to.
We're in business now.
Yeah, so I'm done drawing sites. Now it's just heat
Yeah.
for the rest of the game. Where do we want to put it? I'm okay seeding this to you, ultimately. You've got the cat anyway, so you're going to be all up in the business. And you've got a magic missile, but that wouldn't trade. So let's go bonfire here, and then we'll play our lumbering giant as well. Actually, let's go ahead and just play Vikings here.
All right, over to me.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you see? Let's draw a sight. All right, great. Which do I want? Okay, you could want Let me trade. So let's do that. I'll tap here, play this, and you lose 3.
Woo! It's good business. This is not a spin down, so it's impossible to find these. I literally can't find it. 15. Okay, there it is.
You just couldn't find it. And then I'll swing here for 4.
Pass.
All right. And then I'll pass to you.
Okay. Draw a spell. As is customary.
Taylor's asking, what does Lance do again?
Well, you're about to find out. We're going to move Spell Slinger up. We're going to give the lance to Vikings. Vikings are going to swing into Lumbering Giants for 5 with first strike.
You got it.
And then Lance cracks.
So they get +1 power. They strike first, and then the lance goes away.
And it's only on strike, so that's not attacking a site. It's only if there's unit-to-unit combat.
Yep, including defense, which is really good to have them on defense with the old thingamajig.
And I've got 5. We know you got a kitty coming.
Kitty cat.
Kitty cat. Let's do.
Good.
Lumbering Giant here.
Ooh-wee. Mine?
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw here. Okay. Decision time.
I like that.
Turn all of the brains off.
Oh yeah, I can take my sorcery boxes home.
Yeah, you got to. No, you're gonna open them all. Or you're gonna save them.
I think I'm gonna open them all.
All of them.
Yeah, I think so. And then if I want some to play limited, I'm gonna just buy more boxes from my favorite.
Hey, this guy gets it.
Because I still have a lot of beta boxes that are unopened, but I want to make sure I have a play set of Arthurian Legends.
Right on.
And then I'll buy my singles, and then I'll play limited with everything else. I got the urge to open more packs, you know?
I do know. Yeah.
Okay, a stealth token. I think it's on the backside of that lance.
You can.
Band of Thieves. And then I'll pass to you.
Okay.
So the problem is the cat is 2 water threshold, you see.
Yes, I
And I've
see.
been sitting on 1 for a minute.
I see.
But we'll eventually get there.
Now let's draw a spell. Oh, well, there it is. You're not gonna let me get anything good out of this.
You're in a very catch-up position here.
Catch up?
I had a little tempo going, but
Yeah, you're cooked.
it's going to evaporate here quickly.
All right, we're looking at 5 minutes. Let's tap here. Let's just play Beacon. We're not going to get any use out of that. That's no nearby sites. You've done a good job of not giving me that money.
I saw the beacon early.
And then let's do. You don't have any. Do you have any Earth out? Okay, I don't have to worry about Valor, so that's actually a very relevant thing. Swing for 4 here.
Take 4.
And then we'll swing for 4 here.
Take 4. Thank you for just doing that quickly so I didn't have to look
Yeah,
at you.
man. Hey, I got you.
11 to 12.
Yeah. And then we'll do some Harassing Ruffians, 3 there. And then I'll do my own Band of Thieves here.
Hello. Whew.
Throwing rocks tonight.
Over to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's draw a card. Hello.
And see, this is the beautiful. So if you don't know, like this is where it doesn't look like it, but this is where like Lance on Band of Thieves wrecks these Vikings. And he's got stealth, so I can't block in with ruffians, and that's where a lance token is so good. So like that charging squire that just brings in a lance token and can drop it on Band of Thieves. It's better than you think. It's just better than you think. Contested cards. I know it's still early. Do you have a favorite card / art already? I am so drawn to the Salmon of Knowledge. I mean, it's unbelievable how much I love this card.
Let's go stream over here. Let's
What you gonna do now?
I'm just gonna arc lightning your Vikings.
Okay. Arc Viking.
Arc Viking. I just have to decide.
How big a boy are you?
Uh-huh.
Vontalk, yes. I just love the idea of fishing being a side quest during a game of Sorcery. It's so fitting and perfect. I like the randomness of the D20, even though, you could run the... Well, apparently you can't run the mechanism or whatever. I don't know.
Let's summon the kitty cat here.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and just punch this site for 3 with stealth.
You got it.
And then pass to you.
Okay. Oh, wait, this is yours. That's mine. I just tap this like a normal person so I don't get confused,
What is normal?
I'll draw a spell, as is customary. Interesting. Okay. There's a way to do this weirdly.
27 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, we got it.
I think we're going to finish by any time. Hey, Jonathan.
Yo.
May your pools be curioed.
We'll see. Need some hot hands. I don't usually have hot hands, but as long as I get a place, it'll be okay.
The odds will eventually catch you.
As they keep saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bye, John.
Okay, understood. Bye. Bye. Yeah. This is fine. I feel like I'm... So if I'm doing my math right, I'm 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 this turn. You swing back for 7. I'm a little bit ahead on the tempo side of the game. But then alternatively, I could do some nonsense. And I wish I could get just a +1 power here. It would be absolutely sick.
If you had that banner that gave all your stuff +1, that would be ruinous for me.
It would be quite good, would it not?
Yeah, it sure would. Basically, I pushed to... We'll see if you push back. Because you could just push all in.
I do need to... I have a question about Snowball.
Uh-huh.
Does it pick up the things in its final sight? It says... Picks up all of the units along its path and carries them with it. When it stops, units there take damage equal to the number of units in the snowball.
I don't know the answer to that.
So, like, if I shot it from here, it would pick up these 2 units, and I think it would do 2 to every.
Your avatar's
here.
unit too, right?
Yeah. But if I move my avatar to cast it, I think it would pick up these 2, and then it would stop, dump everything, and it would do 2 here and 2 here.
And it doesn't do 2 to the things also picked up.
I don't know
because they're there at that point.
Units there, yeah. So it would do those unit. It would do 2
Sean's
damage
saying
every.
yes.
So it picks up these guys as well.
Uh-huh.
So I could throw a snowball here and literally do 4 damage to everything on this site.
It does damage equal to the units at the last site.
Okay.
However many that is.
Got it.
And does it pick up units from the spawn point
It's a projectile, so it can skip an ally.
itself?
Yeah.
Caster? So if it was here, would it have to pick up your giant if he was there?
No, it would skip. I think it can skip allies at the origin
All
site.
allies.
All projectiles
Got
can,
it.
yeah. Like when you're casting like a heat ray, you can skip your allies on that site. So that's really tempting, right? Especially if I can do it in a way that kills your cat but saves one of my units. Which I can. So I can do 3 to this with the ruffians. And then I can move here, and then I can do 3 to everything.
When it just it has to pick up any other unit at the casting site.
Any other unit.
You could just like swing with the giant first,
Yeah.
which is probably even better.
And other units, so not the slinger.
Right.
All right, well, let's start where all good things start. Let's do 40
Down
then.
to 8, somewhere on this.
And there's no way to do anything more. I think we're just going to mulligan with the snowball. Kill everything. It doesn't feel right, Zach. No, it's not right. Do I like the Bandit Thief? I think the Ruffian's better. So let's swing Ruffians for 3. Cool with that? Oh, wait.
I can
Yeah,
block
you
it.
can't defend. Ruffians can't.
It says units attacked by harassing ruffians.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it
So
different.
they harass things, not land, you know?
We'll do Ruffians into cat. No,
Yep.
can't do that yet.
Oh, well,
Hold on.
would like.
There's some math here that's good. Okay?
Bricks, if you open up a Witch and Sealed, you can play it.
3, die, 3. There's just no way. It's either the whole pile or not at all.
I see your conundrum for sure. Because you definitely can get this in, but that gets me to 5, and then you're kind of in a weird spot. Or you could go here and snowball and clear.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, you have a giant, and I have nothing on the table,
Yeah, which still feels good.
which is very good. But you're also spending your resources to do that. So I have nothing, but I get to play stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So if we did, does it pick up? It doesn't, and it doesn't pick up the spell slinger itself, right?
That's right. It's other.
Snowball's really fun.
It is fun. That's one of my favorite water cards. And it's ice. It's not even water.
Okay, alternatively, what do we do? Yes. Okay, alternatively, we just do that. I think that's better. I think that's better. So let's just do. I'm going to swing for 3 here.
Down to 5.
We're going to play Burning Hands, do 2 everything here,
Okay.
and then we'll just swing in.
Into the cat.
Yeah, so we'll trade there. I get a 3 and a 4. You get a 3. And then it's so risky. If you fish this out, it would be so bad for me. Oh, but I want to play it so bad. I've got to play it. But your Band of Thieves can't fish it, okay?
I can taste how much you want to play the salmon.
All right, I'm playing it here.
Can you just, for the people at home that don't know what it does, what does it do?
It's waterbound and submerge. Other units at this site may fish, tap, roll a d20 on a 14 plus, banish salmon of knowledge, and draw 3 spells.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing that.
Now, I could also, you could always play it up and then just snowball it, and you can fish it even when it's up.
Huh.
Which is a shame. I feel
Turns
like
out anywhere, fish or fish.
I feel like it should have to be underwater. But I'm going to leave it up. And then my spell slinger is going to try to fish it.
Ooh.
Coming in, this is an 8 life, so I need a 14 plus. 18, baby.
Dang.
Banish that bad boy and draw 3 spells. You're cooked. You are cooked. Woo! Salmon power.
Over to me.
Over to you.
Okay. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So,
Dude, you got fished. Eat it.
I did get fished.
You can't possibly win if I drew 3 cards. It only took me 1 card and nothing with my avatar to do it.
That's perfect. Let's. Aha. That's good. That's very good. Let's play the Iron Man here for 4. I'm going to tap. We're going to play a sight where you give him stealth.
Ooh. Scary robot.
And then we're going to play... we'll just swing on the sight for 3.
Okay. Go to 5.
I'm going to play Sherwood Huntress.
Okay.
Here. And then pass to you.
Okay. Got it. Here, 5.
That's yours. That's my guy. Did I tap him backwards? Is that what's happening?
Yes, but it's
would,
fine.
Would this make you realize it was mine?
No, that makes it me.
Okay.
No, that makes it me. Sorry. Yeah, that makes it you there.
It can't be both.
It can be both. You're right. 5. Okay. Okay, this is easy, right? Absolutely easy. I'm going to draw a spell. Okay. Yes. Excellent. So then that goes there, and that goes there, and this goes here. Okay. Let's do... Would you block with Iron Mentalis? No. Surely not. Surely not.
Don't call me Shirley.
Okay, that's fine there. And then we need a way to get yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Enemy. Okay. Got it. Got it. Man, this format is good, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. We do this. This gets easy. But you're not on death's door if I do that.
Can't let that happen.
Yeah, it has to be now. I do.
You have like a guaranteed way. Yeah, you don't have a guaranteed way. I lied. You have close to a guaranteed way of doing it.
Oh, I can definitely get you to death's door, but I feel like I could also do it in a way that you don't get me to death's door. But it probably doesn't matter anyway. We'll go here, 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 here.
Don't call.
If we do that, you block. If we do that, you don't. Okay, so let's just clear that blocker. I'm just going to Reckless Squire here.
Mm-hmm.
No. Shameless Squire here. Lance tokens generated. And Genesis tap target nearby enemy. Let's go ahead and tap this one.
Wah, wah.
Then we'll swing for 4.
Take 4. Down to 1.
And we'll swing for 3.
Take 1. Death's door.
Okay. And then we will do a Band of Thieves here with stealth. And that's it.
All right.
Oh, and then my spell slinger needs to do something. I'll go ahead and play a sight. And I don't have any allied minions that I can give stealth to, so we'll just play it.
Okay. Things are cool. that. And then.
I suppose you're, wait, does this guy? Oh no. Oh no, it does untap. Oh no.
What
I might be doomed.
This? Yeah.
You get a free Band of Thieves Lance situation going on here.
I'll go ahead and smack those folks.
Let me just put this on you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please do. And then you're at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good format. It's a good format.
It is.
You better watch your buckets.
Well, I mean, I know you have that dumb snowball, so I gotta watch out for that direct O damage.
But it has to be able to hit you anywhere.
But I can't escape it.
That's right.
I could escape it. I can't escape it. There's no escape.
It's the boulder of the set, baby.
But if you move into a site and I'm there, there's nothing that happens.
No, you lose.
Oh, we're so close. Well.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer to that would be. Like if there's actually a card here that would save you against a snowball.
Well,
Jesse, is there a card here that would save Zach from snowball?
I don't think so. I'm gonna Burning Hands from here. We'll do 2.
Oh, right, it's immortal.
1, and then 2, 1. So it's just 2 to your avatar, really, is all that matters on this.
Okay.
And then I will attack here with stealth for 3.
You got me.
Take it to Death's Door.
Death's Door.
And then I'll play a Banshee here.
Hmm.
So I have a blocker, but I can't escape the snowball. Over to you. Good game.
Good game.
That was good.
Love it. Sitting on the old Powers Flight. But see, even here, only 2 cards left after the draw 3 through the fish. So how many cards did you have left in hand?
Oh, I don't
0,
know.
I think.
I had 1 card in hand.
Yeah. So
I stacked my stuff out.
That's why it's such a gotta play good cards format, which is what Limited's supposed to be.
It's very good.
Oh, if you dropped the Stop Projectile Knight, Sir Morian, that would have saved you.
Unfortunately, I did not have him in my pool, so could not have done that. But that would have been one way to get out of it.
So there you go, little Arthurian Legends Limited, just because we couldn't help ourselves.
I think the moral of that story, though, really, is don't waste your projectile / guaranteed damage like Snowball, unless you like. It's really important to have that to finish them off in this set because there's so little of it.
Yeah, true.
So you almost use it to clear my board, but then I feel like you could easily get in a scenario where you have them at Death's Door, but just can't get them.
Yeah,
because there is so much less. Like lightning bolt or fire bolts or just any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, stuff that gets through. There's also a lot of stealth and ways to like have blockers on the board that can't be removed. So you can't, target them and get them off the board. They could sit there and wait for you to swing in. There's also a lot of stealth for you to get on, like stealth and lance and charge, things to get you strikes that are unexpected. Coming in, and ruffians can't be defended. It's just a very cool format. Couldn't say enough good things about it.
Cards I opened. This is all the draft stuff I put. These are the locations that go back in there.
All right, let's do it again next time.
We will be playing more of this on stream for sure.
And special guest maybe next week, but we'll definitely be talking about Hub World to some degree, if not a lot.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because it's a fascinating new development, and it looks like it's gonna be an awesome game. So We'll see you then. We'll catch you next Wednesday. And I forgot how to do all of this, so I hope this works. Take care, y'all. We'll see you next time.